Good evening, everybody. I almost said good morning, about tricked my own self. Good evening, everybody. Welcome on into the big show. We got a big show tonight. I got lots to say. Well, what's new, right? Come on in, y'all. Get your coffee, get your tea, whatever your vice might be. If you need a shot of whiskey off in it, we don't judge. Just don't get carried away. We care, right? Y'all leave us some DNA on the thumbs up button in case you get lost. We can find you. You may have a dipshit for a sheriff. We're unaware of that situation. You may need reinforcements. We might load up and head to your hometown in a minute. So give us some DNA so make it easier for us all. Welcome in. Let's see, who do we have in here? We have our wonderful mod team, and they're not just our mods, they're our friends, right? These are our friends chilling with us. Thank you, mods, for being here and doing what y'all do. You know what you do for me, and you know what you do for this community. Christine, welcome in. Real happy. Good to see you. Just saying your name makes me real happy. I like happy people. Tricia, welcome in. It's always good to have you here. Simi Sharp, my sister from another mister. That's what I feel like sometimes. What? You finally caught alive? I set my phone alarm. I don't trust it to notify. Well, bless your heart. That's the way to do it, right? Because you don't know. Sometimes I'll set a notification for something and I don't even get it either. And I'm like, what the hell? I've been sitting here bored for an hour waiting on something to do and I forgot this thing was coming on. Anyway, Pammy, welcome in. Where you been? I'm glad you're here. Thank you for coming in. Guys, woo. Casey, welcome in. Carrie, hey hun, how are ya? Welcome on in. All right, guys, we got a lot to discuss. Now, a lot of you may have seen Savannah Guthrie has given her interview to NBC Today show, which we saw that was going to be coming, right? We knew that it would be airing. And apparently it's a three-parter. It's like they couldn't just do a sit-down interview and here it is. We got to do 1, 2, and 3. Stay tuned for part 3 because apparently it's coming tomorrow. I don't know. It may come tonight because I think Hoda, isn't that her name, said that tonight there'll be a Dateline. I hope the kidnapper's watching NBC, which I'm pretty sure he might be by now. And probably heard about that Dateline episode that's going to air and will probably be watching that as well. Maybe not the guy at the door, because he may no longer be with us, but the guy who put him up to being the guy at the door is probably watching the Dateline, or the woman. I'm still on the fence about my theory. 3 parts and a Dateline. 3 parts and a date. There's always a damn Dateline. I don't ever want to be on Dateline. Not to cover a story, talk about my channel's coverage of a story, or to be the story. I don't need Keith's voice coming anywhere near me in real life. I will freak the hell out and run. Like, no, that's the sign, the Grim Reaper sign coming at you. I will be shocked if I ever pull something out of our ass around here one day that could be used in an actual case to solve something and we get put on the Dateline. I'll be like, it ain't just me, it's my peeps. They did it. It was their idea. I'm going to blame y'all. They're the ones that said we should explore that avenue and we just did it, man. We did it. All right, let's do the damn thing. Did I hear about Rex? No. Carrie, what am I missing? Give me an update. Don't make me troll, man. Herman? We had a court date, didn't we? Chris Cuomo better back the F off. His mama might go missing, or I don't know if his parents are still alive. His brother is, though, right? Yeah. Chris screams into the microphone every night, thank you for joining us. And we're like, whoa. Finally, somebody said it. They're like, y'all want to tell that dude to tone down that part of y'all's videos? And I laughed because we said that here. Rex Sherman's pleading guilty. We were wondering if, hang on, I haven't even seen any posts by Catch Lisk. But then again, today I haven't done anything about like research around all that kind of stuff. There was chatter, Carrie, about that possibly plea deal coming, right? Possible plea deal coming. Okay, let's see. Big freaking monster. And you know what? It's sad. His victims aren't getting near the attention they should get. I don't care if these women were sex workers or the debutante of the fucking ball, the socialite of New York City herself. I don't care. They're dead women, chopped up and thrown away like trash on the side of a road near a beach. Hmm, you fucking weirdo. And we have read some stupid shit on this guy, y'all. Some weird shit this guy was into. Okay. Hang on one second. Let me see what y'all are saying in the comments. Raul did post it. Okay. We'll go check out his Twitter then. Because that's my go-to, right? That's our go-to. If you don't know, you need to know. Somebody want to drop his link to X in the chat, please? So Catch Lisk is Raul. He is on Twitter and he is like dedicated to finding, well, to help find resolution to how all these people were ending up out on the beach, right? And yeah, he is like the go-to guy on this case. All right, let me go over to his X and see what's going on. Then I'll share that with you guys. I'm actually in his Discord, but I don't think I even saw anything in there. Then again, my notifications are turned off. Oh, good Lord, I am. That's a whole other show's drama right there that I don't even know. They're going to give me a headache and make me do it. All right, hold on. Y'all make me go to the Twitters and stuff. I start seeing stuff that I want to start commenting on. And I'm like, don't do it, girl. Don't do it. Okay. Okay, he's got an article posted from Newsday. Let's see if we can read it, though. Can we read it? A lot of times you can't. So irritating. Fuck, no, they want me to pay to read their stupid article why are they the only ones that he ever chooses to share with? And it's always that way. It's so aggravating. Like, I'm not doing it. Because then I'll forget I did it and won't know where that money's going every month. I'll be like when the people that need that stupid Rocket app. I don't want to know. I don't want to have to be reminded I got 50,000 subscriptions somewhere. That's a little ridiculous. Okay, let me go check that. Yeah, actually, oh lordy, y'all, I got several things. Okay, alrighty. Joe Jack Leone, is that on his Twitter as well? If I click it in Discord, it's not gonna let me share it directly with you guys. So I'll get it. Hang on one second. What? Oh, hang on. I had to reply to somebody real quick because I just saw that while I was back here. Y'all gonna got me multitasking. Okay. He is expected to change his plea during his next scheduled court appearance, April 8th, family members of the victims said. Okay, so let's go to close that. Yeah, how are you going to fight all these charges and the fact that they wouldn't let him separate them out, right? Because he wanted to do them all like separate trials. And they're like, "No, dude, you did this to all of them." So there we go. Let me see here. I'll have to go check out Joe and what's that guy's name? Rachel. Did they do shows together on Herman? Okay, let's see. So it's just new reports are coming out The reporting is he will plead guilty at his next court appearance. So there's nothing in stone yet, but I would be shocked if he didn't plead guilty, right? I don't know how you fight that. They even tried so hard to fight that DNA, right, to keep it out because it was so damaging, but they couldn't even do that. Um, okay, cool. Thank you, Butterfly. We'll get she just sent me another detailed thing about it. So I'll go through it and get an update and see what's what because I know they had that big omnibus filing and we just thing about this one is we can't get the damn court hearings, right? We can't get hearings, we can't get anything, and it's so aggravating. So Butterfly's here to join us. What did you learn anything, ma'am? Welcome in, by the way. Well, just like
Hello.
get to reporting, ma'am. To hell with the nicety
No,
niceties.
no, no, no warning, nothing. Good thing I didn't have my camera on. No, I'm just kidding. Hi, everybody.
She's like, damn salty. Okay. That's it, Rachel. Thank you, Josh. That's his name. That's the guy that does the podcast, his show. And then Sarge has his show, but they work together a lot. Yeah. So yeah. So welcome in. Thank you for joining us.
Hello.
I feel like I just talked to her a few minutes ago, guys. So I wasn't
You did.
being rude. I knew she was here. I just already said hey to her. I just forgot y'all hadn't. Anyway, she is joining us for a while tonight. So thank you for the update, though. So Rachel's got the link posted there for Catch Lisk on Twitter, and you guys can go there and read everything he's got posted about the case, and also take a look at his pinned while you're there at the maps and stuff. It's really I've been really deep, not deep diving. That's not the right word. Going back into missing persons cases a little more, thinking about more of the ones here at home, right? These long term missing people. And Nancy Guthrie's case is just bringing that back to the mind. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so crazy, so crazy. But anyway, I'll go dive into that as well, and we'll get a bigger update. Maybe tomorrow we'll come and talk about that, guys. I'll give you like the best update I can give you about it because I will be back in the morning. No question about it, because I will be back tomorrow, probably around 10 a.m. Central at the latest, because I'm going to bring Dolphin up with me, and we're going to go over the latest video dropped in the Idaho 4 case. And this time it wasn't about a roommate or a friend of a victim. It was about Brian Koberger, and I found it to be incredibly interesting. And I want to break it down with Dolphin because the two of us have been clocking this guy's mentality from the get go,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's just I'm like, give me more, give me more, give me more. I need to see so I need to continue my work.
Yep.
Well, I got a little. It was just so interesting, and I don't want to go into it because if I do, I will be there a long time. And it's not fair to Miss Nancy. Koberger's his own thing, right? And this show's
Yeah.
going to be about Miss Nancy. But tomorrow, we're going to jump back into Idaho and check this dude out who, after
Looking
November
forward to that.
13th, yeah, after November 13th, I will say he did started wearing them gloves hot and heavy. Even to sign your name on a piece of paper, you didn't even bother to take off your glove. You decided I just need to keep it on.
Mm-hmm.
Thought,
Yep.
okay. I understand it was cold outside, right? It was November. Okay. Anyway, we'll do that tomorrow, guys. So I hope y'all can join me for that in the morning. Like I said, our friend Dolphin will be here with us in the morning. That is our plan, to go over that video with you guys and give you our take on it and discuss what we see happening in the video. Let me just say that. All right.
Cussing and discussing.
You girl, hold up.
Lots of cussing.
Hang on. Hang on. You just reminded me. So, upon further review of my investigation, turns out we've been duped.
Really?
Somebody has not been honest about their
Uh-oh.
intentions. People, turns out they're fake. I see fake people. I see
You think?
people. Yeah, you could have said tea in conversations, ice water, maybe wine,
Wow. That
wine
bad?
and wine and dine me, darling, with some crime talk. I don't know. Wine, beer, a cold beer. Y'all like beer? I don't know, but Coffee and crime. Turns out you don't even drink coffee.
I missed it.
Y'all,
I haven't seen it.
I cannot. I saw it by accident, and I was like, "Oh, that aired already." I didn't do my as promised live reaction, right? Let's review the
Mhm.
show and give it a fair live reaction. I didn't do that. I didn't know.
Okay, so you just have to write that exact mileage right here with no temps.
Hang on,
Check the
wrong
box that
one.
says actual, put today's date, and then you'll sign, print, and your street address on the bottom line there.
No.
Okay, so, on your placard, the 18th.
The 18th, coworker.
You
18th.
know that by now, I've said the title, you should have probably
I told you, I'm like, wow.
Right. Oh, they said that they were without that sheet, and this is good for any car sheet. What color's the vehicle?
It's white.
Yeah, what? Okay, thank you.
What color's your vehicle? White. Anyway, wrong one. That's my other
And I just want to have coffee in the morning.
I have a dirty secret to tell. And this is
Uh-oh.
All I hear is dun dun dun
Da da
dun
da
dun.
da 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 da. Do it with me. Da da. Y'all, if you know, you know. Hey Firefly, welcome in. Y'all, just as me being a lady, I'm just be today. I'm in my, what do they call it? I'm in the flesh. I'm in the flesh right at the moment. I'm being petty. Is that what you call it? Anyway,
Mhm.
coffee and cry. I always forgot her name was Julie Grant because I always called her downtown Julie Brown. The other day I was like, oh yeah, that is her real last name, isn't it?
Oops.
I'm like, what's that court TV chick? Julie, what's her name? One time I did a short on her, or actually a TikTok, and it was fired up downtown Julie Brown because she got really mad and really aggressive once in the Delphi case about these ridiculous prosecutors, right? Like she
Mhm.
was going hard, and I was like, "Damn, Julie, you surprised me," and I'm not sure I'm watching the right show, and
She
I
in a
was
bad mood
impressed.
that day?
She was going hard for Richard Allen. And
Ah.
the possibility that something might be amiss here, Mr. Prosecutor, what are you doing? It was that kind of show. And I was like, whoa, whoa, and I made a TikTok about it because of that. That's the only time I ever saw her get like that. Anyway, Jennifer decided that when Julie got let go by Court TV, well, I'll bring you on for a couple times a week and you can talk with me and we'll coffee and crime and cuss and discuss. And I was like, dang, I coffee and crime, conversate, and we cuss and discuss all the time. Turns out
Mhm.
Jen doesn't like coffee.
Oh.
is always rough when you're in law enforcement. I don't drink coffee.
Uh-uh.
Jen.
I know. Especially as a law enforcement officer, it's so embarrassing. Everybody's drinking
Right.
coffee like all day long, 9 cups of coffee, like every hour these guys have their coffee. It's amazing how much coffee.
Every hour. Hey, where's
Maureen
my
could
coffee?
never.
She's I'm about to play it again, not interrupt her. Because you gotta just she's like, I don't drink coffee. And it's so hard because all of my buddies, my coworkers drink coffee every hour. They're like, where's my coffee? 9 cups of coffee in an hour. She drank hot chocolate. And
Oh,
it made
make
it difficult for her in the squad room. I
makes a
can't
lot of sense. Yeah.
I didn't make it up. She said it. Hold on, I'll let her finish.
they drink. And I drink zero. And I can't tell you how that affects the squad room.
Lord.
Stop it. I was trying to sip my coffee. Damn it, man. Um Forrest, as I commented on that, maybe she should try some. It might
I
have
don't
that
think there's nothing helping that
no,
woman.
well, it might, because if you got the ADHD bad, the adult, and you're like, coffee kind of calms that. I think that's why a lot of us drink a lot of coffee. I know it helps me with that. It doesn't
Well,
make me
what
stay
I'm
awake.
saying
It
is
helps
I don't
me
think it's the
sleep.
ADHD that's her
Right, that's not
problem.
her problem after all. That's
No.
that's a smoke screen, right? Um,
Yeah.
but sh- uh, because she didn't drink coffee like the rest of the cops. That didn't that was not a good time in the squad room. That's why. Did they shun her because she didn't drink coffee? That's not nice.
And I just wanna
Protect her
have
from day one.
coffee in the morning.
I have a dirty secret to tell. And this is always rough when you're in law enforcement. I don't drink coffee.
Jen.
I don't. Especially as a law enforcement officer, it's so embarrassing. Everybody's drinking
Right.
coffee like all day long, 9 cups of coffee, like every hour these guys have their coffee. It's amazing how much coffee they drink. And I drink zero. And I can't tell you how that affects the squad room.
Oh, look, they're wearing pink.
They comment. I only watched like 10 minutes of it. And they comment, Jennifer does, we match, we're pink. Da, da, da. Okay, okay. They know. I don't even think they cussed.
Forrest.
So they don't really
Really?
drink coffee. Well, Julie's got coffee in the cup. There may or may not be a splash of something in there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a drinking lady, but if I was, like my granny, I'd probably have a splash in this coffee right now, but I don't. I can't drink. I'll go to sleep.
Right.
It does not sit well with me like it did way back in the day, right? Way
Mm-hmm.
back in the day
Can't
when
do
I
that no more.
pre-children days, and babies have a way of ruining drinking days. You're like, ugh.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Mm-hmm.
I just had to, guys. I had to. Call me petty, call me what you will. I don't
That's
really
funny
care.
as hell.
I don't really care. Hey, look, I've always respected her and been like ladylike to her on the Twitters because she has yet to block me because I'm not rude. But I
Mm-hmm.
can say funny stuff if I want to be funny. Anyway, you shouldn't tell people. You shouldn't promote your show as a coffee drinking cussing
Right?
thing if it isn't. You've been watching our shows, lady, and thought that's a good idea.
Marshmallows and hot chocolate is what it should be.
Fluff, the fluff. Okay, they thought it's a good time. Go check it out. I don't know. It could be a very informative show for all I know. Jennifer is a retired FBI agent. Um, Something to do with training people with weapons. I don't know. And what's her name? Julie Grant. She's a journalist. I think she might be an attorney too. So there you go. They got some good input. There you go. All right. Speaking of input, now Savannah did come out and do her interview, guys. Did y'all see that? Did you get a chance to watch any of that? Some of you may have seen it on other shows already that have come live and done shows about it already. I've watched, actually, I think I started to watch Enton talk about it, but I didn't finish his. I don't think I've watched anybody like really evaluate what they said yet, except for a little bit of Enton's show. So we're going to look at it here. There were some things about it that really stood out to me. It scares you. She trained people. She might know guns inside and out and how to shoot a weapon. And it is what it is. But as far as everything else, I have questions about what type of work she performed for the FBI. Right? She wasn't a Tracy Walder. Let me put it that way. She wasn't a Maureen McCormick. Let me put it that way. Okay, there's many, many branches of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Some of you never leave an office, do you? Just saying. I mean, you might on your way up the ladder, you may have to leave the office a time or two, but once you get there, you're solid. They know what I'm talking about. And they all retire pretty young, right? You ever wonder why? Why FBI agents aren't 75 years old before they retire? Why are they in their seemingly 40s, 50s? Because some of y'all look damn good to be retired FBI agents. Okay, that's the other show. We'll get there. Some make it a lifelong career. When they do retire, you never know where they retire to, right? I'd be that person. Like, I'm falling off the face of the fucking earth now. Goodbye. Probably would have to at that point. Let's be honest. Real agents get into shit Coffindoffer would never know anything about. She's just a logistic person on the ground helping out, support personnel. Okay. That's what we got. Support personnel, guys. Support personnel cannot be underestimated. All right. Let me see what chat's got going on here. She fell off. See, I get to talking and I'm multitasking back here and I don't. Where's she at? Oh wait, that's me. I would have noticed in just a second when I got back over here to the back part again in the control room. In the control room. Thank you. They rescued you, butterfly. Can you hear me?
No.
Is I said, "Can you hear me?" And she said, "No." What the fuck? Did I just imagine that whole exchange?
I'm hanging by a thread.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Everything's good.
Yeah.
Do I need to jump in like my Jetson mobile and zoom to Texas from Florida?
No. Yeah, you need to come visit this way now.
Hang on, chat. I'll take you with me. Let's go. We'll get our Starlink activated in a moment. Wait, first super chat me so I can afford it.
Right.
Buy me a Jetson car so we can fly to Butterfly. Jesus fuck. All right.
That resort meal.
Oh, expensive resort meal
Yep.
that you may or may not need a reservation for.
Right.
I just wanted the view of the sunset, sir. Walk
Well,
outside
same.
the fucking parking lot then.
Right? That's the only place you can get a sunset view from. Okay.
That's why I'm screaming. Walk back to that bridge that overlooked the damn golf course.
I
That
didn't
looked
even
like
notice that I had dropped down until I saw the chat, and it's
I didn't either. I glance over at the phone because that's where my chat's pulled up, and I see something. I'm like, what they said?
yeah.
Oh,
I'm over
okay.
here talking. I'm like, yeah, Brian in live or video was good. He had Maureen on, and I'm just like talking to myself.
Oh, yeah. Look, Pammy's comments. I'm dying, Pammy. I'm dead. She's like, let's do it. She's like, swing wide and come get me. You know, girl, you know I will, Pammy. Just send me the coordinates. That's all y'all got to do. We don't even need no other communication. We'll have a secret code and shit.
There you go.
And
Come on
crazy
over and
ass
get some
hackers.
brisket.
Ooh, she got brisket, Pammy. Hold on. We got to get some encrypted stuff going on because we got those weirdos on the internet that'll try to hack us and get in our Jetson car and fly with us. Like, hold on, man. We didn't get a Jetson bus. All right. So this is,
Take me back to the day. It was
of course, now I'm going to, any other day, I'd probably have some fun to make of Hoda because I just do. I always have. I don't watch this show. People
Yeah.
like this. It's not her. It's the persona, right? That bothers me. Joan London. I'm going to go all the way back to Good Morning America with Joan London. And what's that old dude's name? David, whatever. What was that man's name? I was a little kid. His name was David something or other. Anyway, I've watched the evolution of these morning shows from when I was a little girl all the way till I became a grown woman with children. And I see fake people.
Yep.
So
My
that's
mom
just,
used to watch that all the time, and I was just like, I can't.
and it wasn't
I
just
don't
this
watch it.
same particular show. You know, I got real picky about what kind of news programs I watched, especially when my kids were little. I was so into my true crime stuff and documentaries, and I got real
Yeah.
picky about where I got that sort, and there wasn't a lot to choose from back then, right? But then we were introduced to cable TV, and then a lot more shows and types of shows and talk shows and documentaries and all the things y'all know if y'all are
Right.
my age, how that went down.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just those things. But Savannah does her interview here. Y'all remember a few weeks ago when she showed up on the set and the cameras were going off and they were down in the lobby and you could see. I don't know if that's the day she did this interview or if this was more recent, right?
Right.
Since she
Well, may
left
have been when she
Arizona.
went back home. Yeah.
right when she left Arizona and went back home. And I don't think much could be made of her going back to Arizona, I mean, back to New York, because I'm sure that was not an easy decision.
Right.
I mean, I probably would have struggled with that so bad, but here's the kicker.
Mhm.
I have 2 kids in school.
Right.
Let's not
That would probably
pretend,
be the biggest
right?
decision.
That's your biggest thing is,
Yeah.
would you stay otherwise, butterfly? Screw you,
Otherwise, yeah.
job, right? Screw you, husband, screw you, job. I'm not leaving.
Mhm.
But those kids still need that routine and that normalcy. And what are you going to do? Yank them out of their
Mhm.
school and throw them into a Tucson school real quick, like they'll be fine on
Yeah.
top of trauma that grandma's missing? No, that's not about to happen. You can't rock their world like that. That would devastate children. I don't care what kind of school they went to. Um,
Yeah.
so I can see her going back to the Today Show. People need to stop pressuring her. I said that the other day,
Mhm.
remember? I was like, "Why is everybody going on and on about her return, her return? Is it hype for NBC? Are they struggling backstage to figure out what to do because Hoda's about to launch her Joy 101 app, and, oh my god, she's gonna be so fucking busy." But Savannah's her mom's missing, man. We can't just demand she come back.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a handful of other young girls standing in the corner going, "Here I am.
Right.
Here I am. Put me in that seat temporarily." I don't think America would stop watching. If they
Right.
did, that's on America that watches NBC. Shame on y'all.
Yep. I'll be right back.
Okay, you're good. So that's on society, right? Not Savannah, not Hoda, not girl in the corner waiting for her shot. Girl in the corner, did you do something to get your shot? Oh, damn. Joy 101. So Hoda interviews Savannah. Now, Savannah lets us know a couple of things in this episode here, part one, that are very concerning. And the biggest one was the back doors propped open. Now, Ashley Banfield had been reporting early on back door wide open. No signs of forced entry. We could all see that with our damn eyes when we examined the photos of the house. No damage to any door that we could see, or window for that matter. No forced entry. But how'd they get in? Back door wide open. Okay, that's all we had to go with was a source telling us. And then the other day she reported that a family member, was it her or was it Nancy Grace? I got my notes over there. One of the two family members reported to law enforcement mother frequently left doors unlocked. Back doors, to be specific, unlocked. There's a
Right.
difference between unlocked and propped open.
Mhm.
Now,
Exactly what I thought.
right, she's gonna say during the interview, hang on, 1 second, 1 second.
And she says doors, as in multiple.
Hang on, I'll be right back, guys.
Okay. So how's it going? How's everybody doing tonight? I lost track of my days. I don't know why I thought it was like Tuesday. I hope everybody's doing good. Can y'all hear me okay?
Okay, I can hear you. Can you guys hear Butterfly okay in the chat? Y'all give us a thumbs
I was
up.
waiting for you to say no.
I know, right? Eating pork skins, Pammy. I haven't had any in a long time. People, I know what those are. Frying shrimp po' boys.
Ooh,
Oh hell! Look at y'all go!
nice.
Look at
I already
y'all.
ate, so
I know, right? I mean,
I'm
well,
not. I won't be hangry.
I know. I ate 2 on purpose. I was like, "Oh, if I'm gonna do this tonight, I need to eat before I go live.
Mm-hmm.
I know what will happen if I don't." So, I ate and made fresh coffee so I wouldn't go to sleep after I ate.
No, no hot chocolate.
No, I don't hot chocolate.
So
Lord,
you were saying what she said about the doors. She said
propped
doors,
open.
multiple.
She did say doors, which didn't surprise us because we already knew there were 2 back doors, right?
Mm-hmm.
As far as the back door under the patio, the blue one that we can all see half of it at least, and then the one at the garage area. Remember, we went over that was when Keith was up with us. We went over the 2 blue doors and how one led to the storage room there and all that. So, the back doors were propped open. That could be
So
those 2 doors, but we now know there was also a 3rd door.
right. I just question why they would need to prop open more than one door. What was their intent? That's what I
Why
was
would you
saying.
do that? Okay, here's
Mhm.
I had wondered this when we source says Nancy left the back doors unlocked. When we heard the back door was wide open, Maureen brought this up on a little bit of Brian's show I did watch earlier.
Mhm.
She was wondering about the dog, and I had wondered the same thing. Okay, so I'm trying to put myself in Nancy's shoes, and I have that dog. Do I leave that back door open? Because Arizona, and we're not talking scalding hot weather where you got to shut the door and turn the AC on. Parts of this country don't even have AC in their house, which blows me away because I'm in Florida and we got to have it, right? But it's not
Mhm.
like that for everybody. So, did Nancy leave a door open, right, for the dog? And out of habit, now I'm wondering, out of habit, would she just leaving the back door open now? Or but
Mhm.
that would not explain doors propped open unless she
Right.
purposely propped open all of the doors, for the
But
air.
before going to sleep, that's
But
kind of weird,
but
especially
here's the
with
thing, the
wildlife.
wildlife. Thank you. Thank you. Do we want a javelina trampling through the fucking house while we're sleeping? Oh, I cuss and discuss. Disclaimer. We need to make that. Disclaimer and fragile ears and all. Okay.
No,
Yeah,
Pammy, the back doors were propped open, not the
back
front.
doors.
We
Yeah,
assume they went
before
out.
okay, let me show you guys something before we get this, and I won't go into too much we'll go into more detail in a moment about this. Okay, so for visual sake, remember this is the back of the house, right? Underneath that
Mhm.
patio to the very far right was the blue back door. All the way to the far left, you can see that blue door, right? Those are the 2 back doors that we knew of.
Right.
One to the far left that you can see leads into what we now know. It would appear to be straight into the garage, but it's not. It's a storage room slash pantry room type situation. Okay, that kind of room. And it leads into the house. The door all the way to the right, under the patio, we now know leads directly into the family room area. See the chimney there, right at the edge of the patio on the top of the house? We have a photo of that fireplace. I can show you guys in a sec. Now let me show you this. Now remember where you're looking at there. Okay, now go look at this. See this blue door I got here on the right? See the red circle door?
In the
To the
middle.
right of it
Yeah.
is that patio blue door that I was just telling you about that leads into the family room, right? That other blue door to the left of the circle is going to be that blue door that looks like it goes into the garage, but is really technically a storage area. Those are your 2 big 2 blue doors, the big ones. See the one in the circle? Note where it's located, right at the edge of the patio where it meets the house, right?
Yep.
There's this is your patio you're standing in. Now go back to this. Now go under the patio, just to the left, there's a door that you can't see hardly.
Yep.
And it leads into part of this family room situation. Okay, and the house is hard. I keep saying situation because it's hard to describe. Let me go back here. See this family room? It's the chimney is going to be right in this area, right? So it's weird right through here. It's really weird because this family room really is more to the left, right? Really, center with a window between the two doors, basically. Because nothing is, when they walk in the door, I'll show you the door in a second. And I'll show you this door in the center as well. Now, the red front door, see how I have front door there where it's red? That's your front door to Nancy's house. Just to the right, fireplace. You can see that. You see living room area. You see that patio that's cut, the sliding doors lead to that. Behind it, you got all of the bedrooms. Nancy's room, which also goes to the sliding patio, and all the kids' bedrooms. Goes over into the family room. You can access the back patio from the family room. You have the kitchen right off the garage. And near that front door area, on the other side of that living room, you got your dining room. Does that make sense for you guys? I hope it does. Now, this is what we went through some photos on the last show, remember, guys, of the inside of Nancy's house. We showed you this photo. That door to the right is going to be to the garage, right? And this is the kitchen. Now, note this kitchen. This is very important. We have that bar here, right, that extends. You got over here against the wall, you got the window and the white cabinets. That is also the kitchen sink, right? Kitchen sink, the bar. Right here in the center, where the open space, Savannah's about to be sitting right there holding a guitar. And Annie will be standing at the kitchen sink in front of that window. Someone is standing over here in the corner where this bar is, looking in that direction, because you're going to see right behind that wall in that window, there's the third hidden door, right? That's going to be the third door, which is going to be the side door to the patio. Got it? All right. I don't want to I don't want to explain it bad and you guys go, what the hell are you talking about? So again, this picture here. Now, let me get the one with Savannah that Ashley Banfield got this picture. Send it over to Gray Hughes Investigates. Is that what the name is? Okay.
Yep.
Annie standing at that sink area, right? At the sink with that window. Savannah holding the guitar. That door is right behind Savannah that lead, and it's out to the patio, correct?
Right. Yep.
Was Nancy leaving the doors unlocked? Okay. 50-50 chance. Leaving them propped open? How do y'all feel about her leaving the doors propped open on purpose? Do we think Miss Nancy would do that overnight?
No, I could see her doing it maybe a little during the day if she's at home,
Up and about?
or early in the morning when she's already awake, but overnight when she's asleep, no,
She could
I
be
don't
sitting
think so.
outside enjoying the patio, or walking around the pool, or sitting out at the pool with her feet in, or just sitting in the kitchen having coffee with the doors open, whatever, right? But at night alone, already that by itself is a little like, okay. But when I consider the wildlife too, right? We saw the javelinas running on, they just run around up there.
Yeah.
They're like here in Florida, but you got to go in the woods. We're going to get the hogs. Occasionally, we'll have the black bear come up in your yard, but especially on the south side of the county. But that's because you built in their yard. Sorry, but it happens. But they got the little javelinas. You got to go all the way on the river banks in the woods to find our hogs running around. And they're way bigger than these javelinas, guys, right? I'm like, I would not want little mini pigs running amok in my neighborhood, but there they are. I would not want one to come in the house. And I get it, the backyard, if you take a look, right? How are they going to get in, Salty? I don't know. Maybe a gate got left open. Maybe they got a gate open. There's going to be a gate between the guest house and Nancy's house leading to the backyard. Over here on the side to the far left of the house, behind Nancy's patio where the sliding doors are, there's another gate that leads to the pool area. So it's gated on two sides. There's also a gate in the center separating the lawn from the pool. And there's a little mini pony brick wall. Yeah, it's probably going to keep most of the wildlife out. But you never
Mhm.
know when a gate's gonna get left open or one's gonna jimmy one loose and get his way and find my luck, he's gonna be in my bed with me before dawn, and it's not gonna end well for somebody.
Mhm. Right?
I don't know, guys. So if Nancy left them open because she did enjoy the ventilation and she liked it, that's just the way it was, set in her ways, fine, we'll take that. But if
Yeah.
she didn't, right? If she First, you gotta consider, did she even leave them unlocked? But if she did, why prop them open if you're the assailant? What's
Exactly.
what's the point if you did they
That
intend
was
to
my question.
is there just one door? And she just said no, why would she say doors, if there was
Right.
one door? That's not like a oopsie, right? That's a whole she speaks for a living. That's not a word you
Mhm.
mess up on to describe something. So why would you leave the doors propped open?
Yeah, she didn't say unlocked, she didn't say open, she said propped open.
Propped open.
So,
So are we to believe that? But she said that part, we're going to listen to it, that was unusual. And I thought, well, which is it now? That's where I got
yeah.
confused. Is Miss Nancy just leaving doors unlocked? Or is Nancy propping doors open on the norm? What do we got here? Because now you just said those doors were propped open and it was unusual. And she's also going to talk about how it. Remember when the sheriff came out and said, "Oh," and I think it was day, so Sunday, Monday, maybe Tuesday. Oh, the family has stressed. This is not just a lady who would walk away. She has all of her wits about herself. She can da da da. No dementia, no Alzheimer's. According to Savannah here, it's going to take them some convincing uh, to Sheriff Nanos this wasn't just a walk away. That's why my show's titled She Didn't Just Walk Away.
Mhm.
And I think that was obvious from the first signs of what they saw,
Right.
because she's going to tell you blood on the porch, back doors propped open, car and keys left at home, purse and cell phone left at home, medications, walking cane left at home, Apple Watch that connects to pacemaker left at home, blood again on the steps, and according to Banfield, which Savannah did not mention, blood on the inside.
Inside of the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether I got blood on the inside or not, I got it on the outside and it's Nancy's. So I tend to believe there's probably blood just beyond that door. We speculated that there was. Did the injury happen the second you walked onto the porch, or did it start right inside the house as you got me to my door?
Mhm. That's the question.
Mm-hmm. But why prop them damn doors open? So let's hear what Savannah has to say. And well, we'll get there. Let me just say, we'll get there. Okay. It's weird that these doors were propped open when we don't know if that was the normal thing or not, right? They tell us if she just left her doors unlocked, right? We'll be like fine, right? Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Just tell me the doors. Not you, but I'm saying to the cops. Right? We're
Oh.
like, just
Yeah.
tell us, or Savannah, just tell us. Was it normal for your mom to do that? Yes, it was. Fine, thank you. Was it normal for her to prop them open all night? No, that part wasn't normal. She would shut them at least, right?
Mhm.
Because if you walked into your mom's house and your mom was missing and you noticed the back door was propped open, wouldn't you know instinctively, is that something your mom would do normally?
Yeah.
right? Does your mom? My mom would have done some shit like that. I shit you not. My mama would have propped the door open, especially in the daytime. Especially in the daytime when we were kids.
Mhm.
You got 4 kids running in and out that back doors. Prop that bitch open because you slam it. You don't want to be responsible for that. That accidental slam as you're running through.
I mean, the
And
only
stop.
other thing I could think of is she propped it open before she left to Annie's and forgot
Uh,
and left it open
maybe.
because it wasn't that high of an important, like, you know what I mean? Like when we leave, I make sure my door's locked, but I don't have multiple doors like that to consider.
Maybe she thought she had shut them all, and that
Mm.
one, like maybe that one side door, she just left it open. But so it, I'm fine with her leaving her door. I'm not okay with it, but I can understand she leaves them unlocked. I can understand
Mhm.
she'll prop them open. But if she didn't do that, I don't
Who
understand why
did?
they're propped open. I
Yeah.
don't get why they're propped open at this point. That's a problem.
Mhm.
What was happening if the perpetrator did that? Why would he do that?
Right.
Why are you propping open the door? You got an army fucking coming in the back door and it's like less to touch. I'm propping that door open, so I don't gotta touch it more than I need to at this point. Guess what just happened? I don't have to touch it but once. So when we're
Well,
stuck on why, go
yeah,
ahead. No,
she
go
did
ahead.
say that it was chaotic because remember she was talking to her sister on the phone. So what if it's one of those things where, like Jet said it was first responders and then just lack of communication
No, well,
didn't
well,
get
oh,
yeah, I don't know.
first of all, first responder as in a paramedic.
Don't know. She just said first
Savannah said
responders.
they speculated when her mom was missing and they saw the doors propped open, did Nancy have a medical emergency and call paramedics? And
Oh, okay, that's
somehow
right. You're
she's
right.
she's disoriented somehow. They just took her in and they called all the hospitals. That didn't happen.
Right.
But if officers got there with Annie and they propped it open, excuse me, don't disturb the scene.
Yeah. True.
Okay. And Annie
Yeah, I
better
forgot
not
about that part.
yeah. So Annie better not be fucking propping doors open either to go look for her mama. No, ma'am. You better just open it if you need to, but don't. That's it. Just step away. Propping.
Mhm.
What are we doing? Right. I got bigger questions about why that door was propped open that night
Yeah.
or found that way by Annie. Okay. Let me get this up. It's weird. Well, it's
Mhm.
not weird if I don't want to touch it more than once. And did you originally plan to come out that back door with your victim? And by the way, apparently she's in her gown and barefoot. So
Her
were you
pajamas. I don't know what she wore, a gown or regular
yeah,
pajamas, but
pajamas.
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 Yeah.
Yeah, it could be either or. Pajamas. We'll go with pajamas.
Yeah.
And no bedroom shoes, no nothing. Barefoot. Pajamas and barefoot, apparently, because I guess her house shoes and other shoes would have been accounted for if they knew
Mhm.
of all the things. How do you know every pair of shoes they own, right? In the Sebastian case.
Yeah.
Come on,
Yep.
man. It appears all her shoes up. There's not like a pair missing from the slot. You know what I mean? Fuck, I don't know.
Mhm.
Everything appears to be counted for. So it appears she left barefooted and in her pajamas. And the door appears to be propped open, and there appears to be blood. And Nanos appears to think she could have wandered off. The family tells him, "You don't understand. She needs assistance to walk a distance. She's in a lot of pain with a very bad back, as it turns out. And on a good day, she can walk to the mailbox and back, but most days she couldn't. So even if she wandered off, sir, she wouldn't have got far on her
Right.
on her own." Oh, well, we'll do
Mhm.
a ground search. I won't let the plane guy go up because I grounded him for nonsense reasons. I might change my mind in about 2.5 hours. All right, Savannah, take it away.
It was, I guess, a normal weekend for you.
Yeah.
The weekend your mom went missing. Tell me what you were doing and what happened.
Well, I had given Mike for Christmas a boys' trip to go play tennis, and so he had been gone for the weekend. So I took my kids actually to Carson's. So we had a beautiful, fun night together, and then I came home, and really it just got home at the same time that Mike came home, and we were just saying hi, putting down our stuff, and the kids were running around. And my sister called me, and I said, "Is everything okay?" And she said, "No." She said, "Mom's missing." And I said, "What?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?" She said, "She's gone." And she was in a panic. I was in a panic. I'm like, "Call 911.
Yeah.
She's like, "I did. We've called them. They're here." And we thought that she must have had like some kind of medical episode in the night, and that somehow, the paramedics had come because the back doors were propped open, and that didn't make any sense. We thought maybe they came and there was a stretcher and they took her out the back.
See, it didn't make sense. Those doors were propped open, and they were trying to figure out why. Well, did Mom get paramedics here? Did they have a stretcher and take her out the back? Have y'all ever seen? I've seen them do that with my own loved ones, right? We don't know, why would the door be open? 1,000 things could come to your mind all at once. So, and then they had already called the hospitals. Annie tells her she'd already called the hospitals, and Savannah calls them again. And she's not there, right? No calls of this woman coming in, maybe not being fully aware of who she even is. You know what I mean? Sometimes a medical episode can happen, and before they can get there, or during them being there and trying to triage you, you could go out of it, right? But if they couldn't identify her for whatever reason, even in a wander off situation, maybe Nancy was able to wander all the way down Campbell to that main intersection, and something happened, and 911 got to her, and they just didn't know who she was. Jane Doe, right? Sure, that's what Nanos thought. Just like when they were there in Delphi, they said that those two little girls were runaways, or they just went to their friend's house doing what little girls do. They'll show back up later. Okay.
But her phone was there, and her purse was there, and all her things, and it just didn't make any sense. So, Annie and Tommy had already called all the hospitals, but then I'm like, I'm going to call the hospital. So then I started calling the hospitals, and the police were there and talking to her at the same time, and it was just chaos and disbelief.
See, the chaos was for her and Annie, right? And Cameron. It's chaos because their mother is missing. They don't know what's going on. Annie's the one there. Cameron's trying to get there. Savannah's finding out what's happening. They're calling hospitals. Of course it's chaotic. We don't know anything. And, at this point, that's all they know. So, of course, it was chaotic. I hope people, when they see this, they look at it logically and learn and be honest about what you learn from it, because I know I certainly will. People may not agree with me, but I'm not going to, it's so weird. It's weird and all that stuff. I've seen all that. I'm like, I'm not listening to the noise, because you listen to the noise, you miss what's really being said.
Right.
Within hours, Savannah was making the long journey home to Tucson.
You saw Annie and Cam when you got to their house. Tell me about that moment.
Just disbelief and hugging each other. And I think we were on the phone with the sheriff and trying to, really make clear from the very early moments, Annie and Tommy were saying, this isn't that case that you are used to, where
They were on the phone with the sheriff, and they were trying to double down on, just like Annie and Tommy were trying to tell him early on, this is not that case, sir. What? So if he
blowing them off?
Well, okay, if his officers are reporting to him blood on the front porch.
Mhm.
Unconfirmed as to whose it is at this point. Back door propped open, weird, but we're not sure why. The lady's missing, sir. And he just doesn't listen to the family. That it's
Right.
not walk off, sir. There's something not right about this. My mom's everything is here. Even her phone, her purse, everything is here, right? She can't walk without that cane though. All right. So you want to claim dementia, but mama couldn't have got to the damn front door without the cane, sir.
Mhm.
You know, what are you doing? She's nowhere around the property. We've looked. How many times have we heard law enforcement tell families, and especially these old cases that are a few years old, even further back, especially, maybe she just walked away from her life. Maybe he just checked out. Maybe they just left on purpose. Maybe, maybe, maybe. Maybe they're not really missing, even though they're missing. Give it a week, see if they turn up. Probably need to cool off. They'll be back. Nancy's life got so stressful at 84 years old, she's like, peace the fuck out, and went out that front door unassisted and walked away from her life. Okay, Nanos, weirdo. And it wasn't dementia, so that's my point. They're not, they got to start listening to families and change the
Mhm.
criteria. Because when you continue to say and not take it seriously, you call and you report your 19-year-old daughter, you haven't talked to her in over 24 hours. It's not like her. She was supposed to call because y'all were going to do lunch, whatever.
Right.
Ma'am, give it a minute. She could be off with her boyfriend. You don't understand. She would have told me.
Mhm.
Ma'am, how seriously are they taking that shit, right? Don't do that to me because you're going to make me irritated.
And it
But I
happens more often than not.
all the
You know,
time,
it
doesn't it?
shouldn't.
How many cases have we looked at, Butterfly? That's where we're getting that from, based on, where we've seen that happen, where they were told, the family was told stuff like that. Or they're not
Mhm.
believed when they're said, when they, you go, so you call and you're like, look, my sister's missing. Uh, she's not the kind of woman that would walk away from her family. And they're like, yeah, but you never know. People could live a double life.
Was she faking her
Yes,
ailments
yeah, I
and
get it. I watch TV too, but I'm telling you, this bitch ain't got no double life. I'd be the one to know, right? Right.
right.
Um, I'm telling you, it's like that, and they're not taken seriously enough. So I don't know what
Mm-mm.
Nanos is, if he was that cop that was just blowing off yet another family, or if he had an ulterior motive to double down on his weird theory.
Right.
You know what? If there was no blood at the door and the back doors were shut, maybe one's open because she wandered off. Nothing. Just nothing.
Mm-mm.
Nothing to indicate nefarious activity had even went down.
Right.
You still got a family telling you she wouldn't just wander off, right? So
Yep.
weird. Suck. Anyway,
Someone wanders off, she can't wander off. My mom, she was in tremendous pain. Her back was very bad. You know, she was trying to, on a good day, she could walk down to the mailbox and get the mail, but most days not. So there was no wander off. And the doors were propped open.
Yeah.
And there was blood on the front doorstep. And the Ring camera had been yanked off.
Yeah.
And so we were saying, this is
Yeah. Do something.
this is not
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
This isn't, something is very wrong here.
Yeah. Did you guys talk about what possibly could have happened? Like,
Ring camera yanked
Yanked
off.
off. Yeah. I noticed that too.
Not smashed off, broken off,
Mhm.
busted off, yanked. I don't
Isn't that
know.
what Nanos used? Smashed? Or was that someone else?
The sources reported smashed. I don't know what the hell Nanos said. I don't care at this point what he said it was. He could call it exactly what I call it, and I'd say he stole it from me. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Ashley Banfield's always reported smashed Nest cameras, including the one at the front door, and hangs on the word of Mike Ruiz, who's the only,
Uh,
I will point out, reporter that states saw glass or plastic fragments on front porch along with the debris from the vine and the blood.
Mhm.
Brian Enton has never reported seeing that. I just want to point that out. So that's her evidence that her smashed camera theory, based on what her source told her, is accurate, because Ruiz saw plastic fragments or something, and nobody else saw that. But anyway,
Right.
yanked, right? And they're seeing things, and here he is, just, I don't know.
What could have happened? What went down? Did you?
I think my brother. I mean, my siblings are so amazing. My brother, he spent.
You know what? That picture right there, to me, um, I'm seeing two different versions of what I'm showing y'all. Hang on, I don't know which one y'all can see. It's a picture of Cameron and his mom. Is that what
Yeah.
y'all see? Okay.
Mhm.
That picture to me, Annie is standing there, right? But it's like Cameron was a young adult male when their dad died. Annie was the oldest child and her only son. Probably leaving her to join the military was probably the hardest decision he ever made, and I guarantee you she told him, "You better do it. Don't stay here because you think you got to take care of me and your sisters."
Mhm.
Do you get that vibe? And he's like the protector, because he knew, we all got that feeling from him, I'd say, during the video stuff they were
Mhm.
putting out. And Maureen, to me, she nailed him.
Yeah.
And have you seen that, the way she describes her take on him? I felt it was spot on anyway. That picture, just hugging his mom, you know what I mean? And her
Mhm.
proud no matter what of her kids. And for him to know right off the bat, you got what does this scene look like? And there he knew
Mhm.
something nefarious had happened to our mom.
Yep.
His career in the military and worked in intelligence and is a fighter pilot and is brilliant, and he saw very clearly right away what this was. Yeah. And even on the phone, when I called him, he knew.
He knew.
And he said, "I think she's been kidnapped for ransom." And I said,
Yeah.
"What? Yeah. Well, why? What?" And then, I mean, it sounds so like, how dumb could I be? But I didn't want to believe. I just said, "Do you think because of me?" And he said, "I'm sorry, sweetie, but yeah, maybe."
Now, for people who didn't think that in the beginning, they didn't think that, I was like, how could you not think that?
Mhm.
How could you not think that? You're on TV, you're quote unquote celebrity status, you got some income, money, you have to wonder, especially if your brother says this has got to be a kidnap for ransom. Why else would our mom be gone like that? And she's like, "What? Are you serious? You think because of me?" Yes, honey. It's like she's
Yeah.
almost thinking about it, almost not blaming her. I'm just that baby sister, right? You know what I mean? Mommy's gone.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
like, "Honey, yes, because of your status." She's like, "Oh hell," and it hits her.
Yeah.
Right? Could it be?
Mhm.
And then all people want to talk about is, when's she going to return to the Today Show? How do you do that? It, under this circumstance, man, give the lady
Exactly.
give her a moment. So
Well, especially if it is because of her, not she did it, but
yes, no, I understand
the person still hasn't been caught. So
exactly
she still is could be in danger, her and her family.
to
So
some
you're gonna
extent.
continue to put yourself on, in front of everybody every day like
Well,
nothing.
they could become
Like
victims of a
how
number of
it's too
things and
hard.
fall out, right? Because of
Yeah.
this, at the hands of whoever did this.
Mhm.
Especially if there's more than one person involved, somebody might get squirrely and try something here eventually when they think things have died down.
Yeah.
Who knows what kind of information may be offered later on to recover certain things, you
Yeah.
know.
I can
But
imagine it
yeah,
being like to come to that realization that it's because of you. Like that would be the last thing you would want to think of. But I mean, it's
that's
there. It's
the
just
first
yeah.
thing that right
It's
when you
so
got
so heavy.
it is very heavy for anybody, but in
Mhm.
this situation, considering the status of one of the children would have to be your first go-to as to why that would even happen
Right.
to Miss Nancy or to anybody's mom. It could be any celebrity's mom at this point. We
Mhm.
have to call her, that's just the pocket we're going to put her in, right? Celebrity status.
Yeah.
It could be any of their moms, literally.
Yeah.
Um, so that alone, of course, it's going to be your first thought. Now, something else. Enton did say he's going to do another show and revisit and deeper dive those, I don't know, first two letters for ransom.
Mhm.
Did he say
And
the
trying
first
information. Yeah, the first two.
first two? Am I correct? Okay.
The
Just
ones
wanted
that she was talking about, I
oh,
guess.
I know. the
Yeah.
the I pointed out a long time ago, everybody's TMZ, TMZ. Did y'all everybody now they're all saying, oh, everybody blew that off. Yeah, everybody did blow it off. They didn't even want to talk about it. And I kept
Mhm.
reminding people that the TMZ letters were not the two letters I'm concerned about. It was
Yeah.
the first two. And apparently Savannah thinks like I do. Or I thought maybe I think like she does. I don't fucking know. Can't discount those first two. You cannot do it. No
Yeah.
more than you can discount her celebrity status is probably the reason this happened.
Yeah.
Okay. So hang on. I got more to say. We'll let her talk a little more.
Mhm.
Oh, and toss that in with my early analysis of the video footage that said that's really not car lights in the distance, and he's trying to pull the cam or yank the camera off with the vines because he literally can't get his fat fingers between the two. That was exactly what I said. It's
And the
in
third door for me, because I noticed that way
but
back in
oh, let me not
February.
forget that. Thank you. I wanted to so put a banner up. The third door, the mysterious third door that we're going to dive into a little more. Butterfly discovered that third door 3 weeks in.
February 18th, I have the
Oh,
date. I
February.
sent you the yep, I sent it.
Is that the day you sent me the photo of it going, is that a
Mhm.
door? Because
Yeah.
we were live and I kept saying, I can't tell if there's a door there. I can see there's the brick wall part, but I can't tell
Yeah.
underneath that awning if there's another damn door right there. But you're like, she was
Mhm.
doubling down. That's a door. She was right the whole
I
time.
did because I saw multiple people. You can't walk through a wall. So where the
Uh,
hell were they gonna go?
some people can, Butterfly. Okay. You
Well,
walk through a wall, like she was saying, they were like so she's referring to you're talking about, like, some of the, drone footage we saw?
yeah, the FBI
Aerial footage?
agents that were there.
Right.
Yeah.
And they were the FBI agents were in the backyard walking, and she noticed the way he was walking under the patio and going into what appeared to be a door right there, and she kept
Mhm.
telling me that, and I'm like, "I can't see a door, but I see exactly what you're saying." We couldn't figure it out. We figured it
Yeah.
out. Gray Hughes thinks that he figured it out via the
And then you saw
photo.
the door. Then you saw the actual door and got the
Yeah,
actual picture of it. So,
yeah,
yeah.
we can see it all now. But he
Casper can, Teresa.
Ashley Banfield, now give her credit because she did find that picture. This time it wasn't Megan Kelly, and it
Yeah.
wasn't Greg Hughes. It was Ashley Banfield. I was probably a producer, let's be honest, that found it.
Mhm.
Anyway, and it shows that door, and it's that same door you said was going to be there. And lo and behold, there it was. You heard it here first on Salty Sleuth Investigates via lead investigator Butterfly, True Crime Butterfly. Cheers, y'all.
Cussing and
But
disgusting.
I knew
There you
that.
go.
Cussing and discussing. All right,
Mhm.
Miss Nancy, whoever thought it was a good idea to do this, they had to know you left your doors unlocked, if that's true. They had to know you would prop those doors open at night, if that's true. I think that guy at the door.
I don't know. You know what? I
What do
have
you
a
think?
different. I just thought of something.
What?
So, the way she said the doors were propped open.
Mm-hmm.
If her mom did that on a regular basis and she knew, then I think she would have just thought her mom left them open.
Instead of wondering why they're propped open, that was weird. She says that was
Mhm.
unusual, right? And they're
Right.
trying to figure out now why they're open. Oh, was it paramedics who propped it open to get a stretcher out?
Right. So
But
Miss
why?
Nancy couldn't have like done that on a regular basis.
That's what I'm thinking. Is she
Yeah.
didn't leave those doors open overnight. Why would she, with the chance of a javelina coming in? I mean, I get
Coyote.
it. You like the wildlife and all, but I don't want them in the house with me at night or anytime.
Right.
But so yeah, I'm getting the idea that maybe she left the door. Now Savannah doesn't mention her mom leaves these doors unlocked. Note that,
Yeah.
right? She never mentions blood on the inside of that house either. She
Mhm.
does she does mention the blood on the porch.
Yep.
Now, is that on purpose? You know what I mean? Holding back the crime scene because we only know that that back door was wide open and blood was in the house thanks to Ashley Banfield alone. Reported both of those things from a source.
Yeah.
But Savannah doesn't say those things here. All she says, back doors propped open, unusual, trying to figure out why, basically, blood on front porch. Everything mom has is left in the house, including her slippers, man.
Yep.
And Nanos thinks she wandered away. Annie and Tommaso trying to tell his ass otherwise.
You did.
I hope not. I mean, we still don't know. Honestly, we don't know anything.
No.
We don't know anything. So, I don't know
Yeah.
that it's because she's my mom and somebody thought, oh, that girl, that lady has money, we can make a quick buck. I mean, that would make sense, but we don't know. But yeah, that's probably, which is too much to bear. To think that I brought this to her bedside, that it's because of me.
Brought this to her bedside, and in one of her videos, she was taken from her bed. We know Nancy was taken in the middle of the night while she was asleep. Not a doubt about it. She wasn't in the kitchen getting a drink of water. She wasn't in the bathroom up in the middle of the night. She wasn't the old people on Twitter were telling me, you don't understand what it's like to be old. Excuse me, yes, I do.
Mhm.
My granny was that kind of lady. We called it walking the floors. Y'all know what walking the floors mean? You got that granny or that aunt. They walk the floor at night because they're up all night.
Yeah.
I'm that lady. It's gonna be me. My cousin used to tease me. I was gonna be like her mom, walking the floors. Like, so at least I know some shit going down in the night. I won't be fucking caught off guard, and I will.
Right.
You be in there sleeping, and I'd be like walking the floors, protecting our old asses. Anyway,
Yeah.
apparently we're gonna need that kind of protection. Have you seen the news lately? Lord, it's depressing. Anyway, sundowning, Pammy. Exactly. If she had dementia, and Pammy brings up that's what it's called. So sundowning, for those of you who don't know, if you have dementia or especially full-blown Alzheimer's, they suffer from what's called sundowning. So at night, when the sun goes down,
Yeah, I've
they're
heard that
awake.
too.
They're awake. My pawpaw, when he passed away, full-blown Alzheimer's. I cared for him in his home until he passed in his home. And I remember when he began to have dementia, right? And the years it took to transform into full blown Alzheimer's. And I remember being at the hospital early on when I'm figuring everything out, that what's going on with my grandpa. I need to move in, I can tell. And I'm talking to a male nurse, and I'm telling him about what I've been experiencing, Pammy. And I said, It's weird, I said, because my pawpaw was the kind of guy asleep with the chickens, up early. That's how he lived, hard worker. Suddenly, my pawpaw's up all night doing weird shit. He's like, honey, that's called sundowning. And I was like, what in the world is that? He turned me on to my local Alzheimer's Association, where I went and got the books given to me, and one known as the Alzheimer's Bible. And I suggest any of you to experiencing an elderly person or anybody in your life that's your loved one dealing with that, go seek the information and get familiar. It's hard, but you can do it, right? And sundowning, they will wander off, especially when, say, Annie and Tommaso didn't realize she was experiencing sundowning, right? But Nancy was experiencing things, and she wasn't sharing with people she was starting to experience things, right? That she didn't quite understand herself. You know, you're
Right.
I wake up one morning with your coffee and go, oh shit, I think I got dementia, Alzheimer's, right? It may cross your mind before you get it, but once you got it,
But not right, you won't know.
exactly. Is it going to come to you in the
People
moment?
around you will
Right, I
have
got
to
right.
notice.
So are things starting to happen? But you've got to get to a there's stages to Alzheimer's, and stage one is not doesn't usually include sundowning. Do you know what I mean? You're not there yet.
Yeah.
I think a lot of symptoms would have shown up prior to her starting to experience the sundowning part. But try to tell Sheriff that, right?
Yeah.
Try to tell him that. Kelly, my mom had dementia. She had to be locked in a unit, right? If I hadn't been available, and I'll say that because I was single, I had one little kid. It was cool. I could take care of my grandpa. It wasn't easy, but I had, I had nurses that came in or whatever in the end there. But if it hadn't been, now my grandmother on my dad's side was different. It got to the point where my dad and my uncle really couldn't take care of her anymore. And she did end up going into a facility as well, for a memory care facility, right? This was, years.
Mhm.
So I had one who I know stayed at home the entire time, right? Because I took care of him. And then I had another grandparent who did end up in a facility as well. So I've seen it from both sides. It's hard either way you go at it, you know.
Mhm.
Your grandpa or your grandma start saying some crazy shit. Sometimes that shit is comical and you're like, damn. And sometimes it's like, but I don't know. It's a wild journey with them, and I wouldn't change my experience with my grandfather for anything in this world. If it had
Mhm.
to be, then it had to be, and I'm glad I could be, right? I love that
Yeah.
man to death. I miss him. I miss my pawpaw. Hey, he taught me something, a thing or two.
Yeah.
Cowgirls don't cry. Ride, baby, ride.
And I just say, I'm so sorry, Mommy. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry to my sister and my brother and my kids and my nephew and Tommy and my brother-in-law. I'm like so sorry. I'm so sorry. If it is me, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. We want to thank all of you for the prayers for our beloved mom.
In the initial days, you and your sister and brother sat together. In all the despair, you sat and managed to think of words to say. How were you able to do that in that moment?
Well, my siblings are amazing. And we are a unit. And I talked about how brilliant my brother is, but my sister is equally brilliant and also has special powers of intuition and faith and language and depth and heart.
I think Annie and I probably would have got along pretty well. I'm just going to say that. And I keep going back to that lady that I saw go to Nancy's property and kneel and
Mhm.
pray and make her little shrine. That was a different spirituality level of anybody else that visited that site that I saw.
Right.
Describes Annie on a faith-based level, but she took it to a higher spiritual level as well. Very earthy, a lot of things. And she also will describe Nancy as being earthy with her faith as well.
And I feel like we came together with all these beautiful gifts that came from our mom and dad and from God. And somehow together we did our best to come up with the words to say. And I haven't posted one thing or said one thing that the three of us haven't decided together. It is surreal. It's, how is it possible that we are having to make a video speaking to a kidnapper who took an 84-year-old woman in the dead of night in her pajamas with no shoes, without her medicine? This little person.
So I guess, can we take that as confirmation her medicines were not taken with her, right? We all assumed they were not, right? Word salad sheriff said something about something. We don't. Anyway, she didn't have her meds with her, not even her shoes. So she didn't plan to leave her life. Do you know what I mean? She didn't like decide to go on permanent vacay. I'm gonna need a few things until I get settled in my new life. Wasn't that either, Sheriff. Okay.
Not to mention walking out there on that rough terrain. I mean, there was pebbles in the walkway, so that would have been hard for her to.
I don't know. I've heard
She's
somebody
already been
describe
home.
that earlier, but here's my. It's pebbles. They're pretty packed, compact, hard right there. It's a hard compressed sidewalk, been there for ages. Nancy's mother of earthy, she might have liked to be barefoot. She might have been used to it. Her feet might have been a little tougher. She's just going down the sidewalk. It's barbaric to begin with to take her out barefooted. I'm the opposite. One of my siblings, you barely can force her to wear a shoe. I'm the opposite.
Yeah.
I love to touch the grass, right? But I
Yeah.
can't stand my feet to feel dirty. So
Yeah.
therefore I don't like to
Same.
go barefooted. So touching, I'm like, but I can do it. My feet are tough in that way. I was raised on riverbanks, but nah, I'd rather have my flip flops on or something. That's gross.
And
But
she may have had socks. We don't know. She may have had socks
she could
on.
have had socks. The fact that she's barefooted and in a gown still, didn't
Yeah.
take her meds, right? So if we're going with, she's kidnapped now for ransom, right? You're in the house kidnapping her. So she didn't walk away. We know that, right?
No.
We all, I think everybody here, I think, can agree Miss Nancy did not have dementia or Alzheimer's and did not wander away during a Sundowners event. We were discussing the option of that and what it would take to get there, and we ruled that out as being the possibility here because Savannah's going to tell you, she already did. We're trying to tell the sheriff she didn't just wander away. So we explored it. We gave the old guy the benefit of the doubt, and we don't know what he's doing over there.
No.
Yeah. So if you're there to kidnap her and you're going to want ransom for her, are you prepared to house her somewhere to keep her safe and healthy during that time period? How long do you expect this to take? 24, 48, 72? What are we doing here? What about those meds? What about a pair of shoes? What's wrong with grabbing a pair of shoes, right?
Yeah.
And why do we have blood? So that forms questions.
Well, her with
And to
no shoes
beg
makes
for
it easier
mercy.
for them. So
I mean, it wouldn't take, but Why does it make it easier? Okay, I don't mean it that way. First of all, it would take a second for her to
Yeah.
slip on shoes, but it would make it easier for them if she had on shoes or didn't.
Didn't.
Why would it make it easier for them if she didn't?
Well, if she's doesn't like walking around with no shoes, or it makes it harder for her to. I mean, she's already having mobility issues,
No,
so.
all they gotta do is tie her up in some fashion.
Mhm.
They don't
Yeah.
I don't think they're concerned if she's got shoes on or not, it's gonna dictate whether she walks or not, right?
Yeah.
I just don't I just that's a little to me is like, "What?" You know? Um, it woulda took a second to allow her to slip on some shoes. "Ma'am, we need to go. Come with us." Why would they care, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you got a man at the door, which we obviously do, he may be a little more barbaric than a woman would be, and he's not gonna give a flying,
Mhm.
you know what, if she's got a pair of shoes on or not. He's just there to get her.
Yeah. Think
He
that's
really
that.
wasn't instructed to make sure but why not what about the meds and the other things to assist her to keep her comfortable and help her get to the door, like shoes and a cane, maybe?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because they didn't care about.
And let me point out, hang on, I'm sorry. She all we've heard is mobility issues, but the sheriff has never said, Butterfly, if that cane was in that house, has he?
Right.
And
No, I haven't heard that. I still wonder.
she hasn't said it either during this interview.
Mm-mm.
So, what if the cane's gotta be right there by the fucking bed. And it's probably that
Mhm.
kind with the feet on it, you know what I'm saying? With stabilizing because 'cause he's got a bad back, I don't know. Maybe they let her take the cane because without it, we do gotta roll her up in like a burrito in our tarp. Why are you taking a tarp if never mind, let me Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
No, for the record, we don't know they took a tarp, but there's some people out there that hold on to that tightly. There's a tarp involved.
The days that followed, multiple notes demanding payment were sent to various media outlets.
The notes or ransom requests came. Did you believe those to be real?
There are a lot of different notes, I think, that
Yeah.
came. And I think most of them, it's my understanding, are not real. And I didn't see them. But, you know, a person.
Most of those that came, from her understanding, were not real, and she did not see them. Those that came, all of the ones that only came to TMZ. That's not including the first two. She's talking about what I call
Okay.
second batch. Do you see what I'm
I
saying?
get it. Yeah.
Now so
Makes sense now. Yeah.
right,
Did I hear
she's
it again?
absolutely I'll play it again. What she's talking about is that second batch, as I call them, that only Harvey Levin was getting over at TMZ. That made everybody decide, well, them first two are just as stupid as whatever Harvey's doing over there. But Savannah doesn't seem to think so. I think I went too far back.
Requests came. Did you believe those to be real?
There are a lot of different notes, I think, that
Yeah.
came. And I think most of them, it's my understanding, are not real. And I didn't see them. But, you know, a person that would send a fake ransom note really has to look deeply at themselves.
Yeah.
I bet you if they can prove who sent that second batch to TMZ and they're in the US and they can arrest them, they don't know they're being watched and they're going to be arrested eventually. Right now, they're just hang on. Unless they are out of the country doing it for like overseas bullshitters, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
those scammer people, don't be surprised for what I told y'all. They're not in the United States. We can't just walk over there and get them. It's not like that, right? The local sheriff can't just show up and arrest these guys sitting somewhere on a keyboard overseas behind a VPN. That's what she's talking about. That second batch. That's what that pertained to.
To a family in pain. But I believe the two notes that we received, that we responded to, I tend to believe those are real.
Really?
The first two that you responded to that we absolutely knew, well, most of us, that you did respond to. The first two. And what happened when she asked for proof of life
Mm-hmm.
in
Yep.
reference to those two letters? They couldn't provide her with proof of life. And what's come after that from Savannah and her family? Absolute understanding our mom's probably no longer with us. And we just want to bring her home to put our mind at ease and do all the things that people do.
Yes, Kelly, they did. There was one guy out of California, but um,
What is it?
she said they did find the one guy that sent some, right?
That
He sent one. Yeah.
that one
TMZ.
no. He didn't have
Was it
nothing to do with.
TMZ?
No. No.
Okay. Mixed up.
That was Colella, Derek Colella. So what Derek did, nobody knows why, who knows, decided to use an app on his phone to hide his actual phone number, and he looked up Annie and Tommaso's numbers, and he sent
That's
them
right.
text messages asking them had they been paid the ransom yet, whatever, right? He got caught from using the
Mm-hmm.
app, not a VPN through an email situation like these letters. Totally different thing. He's already been caught and went to federal court. So he's just
Yep.
a blurb, right? And then you got
Mm-hmm.
that second batch to TMZ, south of the border guys, I called him. South of the border guy claimed that he
Yeah,
saw
that one too.
that's the whole second batch right there. We'll do a whole preview show. The second batch of TMZ letters came from a guy who claimed that he was south of the border and saw something 5 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
He knows that Miss Nancy is south of the border. But then in another letter, he says, I only have information, right, that he learned 5
And
days
this
ago.
is the last time I'm gonna send, and then he sends another one after.
It was
Another
not
message.
that. Well, when he sent the other message, he decided to tell them, not only does the first one said, I have information, that's it, information. The second thing he sent them said, here's what's going to happen in graphic detail if you don't play ball. First of all, what are you going to do in graphic detail to what? Information that you have? Because the other letter you said you only had information that you saw some shit down by the border 5 days ago, which would clock
Mm-hmm.
that around February 11th or 12th. Should I go back in time? Because that's who we're talking about here, that guy.
Yeah.
Then you got the Cali guy, as I kept calling him, text messaging guy. And then you got the very first two that Savannah absolutely responded to in her videos. I'm going to go with Savannah and the FBI on this one.
Yep.
When the Ring camera video surfaced and you
If not, the stalker got her.
could see who that person was, just tell me what you thought when you saw those images of the person who.
Here's the thing about the TMZ letters. I could have allowed the noise to get to me and drowned it all out, right? Or I could have just listened and analyzed what I was hearing, try to pick it apart and debunk it in my head, right? Like, yeah, I get it. They're all probably fake, but what if they're not, right? Why would a kidnapper, even if the first two are real, reach out to the TV station versus the cops? I don't fucking know, but they're different. They were always different than the second batch, but the noise told me they weren't. But I've always, if y'all been around a minute, y'all know I keep saying they different. There maybe's nothing to it, but at least I was willing to say there's something different about those first two compared to all the others, excluding Cali guy.
Who took your mother?
I mean, it's just absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
It's just totally terrifying. And I can't imagine that is who she saw standing over her bed.
Yeah.
I'm glad and grateful to the investigators and the technology companies that were able to find that video. To, I hope, at least with people of good heart and compassion, stop the irresponsible and cruel speculation that had started to swirl.
Let's talk about that for a minute.
I'm glad that people saw
Yeah.
what came to our door.
I feel like that was cut, save for part 3. Something the issue, because they were going to talk about that for a minute, and then it went to, I'm glad they could see what was at our door. Of course, they're talking about, the shade that was thrown at Annie and Tommaso, which in reality it is a shame, because are we going to live in a world where every time something happens, we're automatically, look at the Tepe case, remember?
Yeah.
People were blaming the people who called 911.
Yeah.
I can't forget that. I covered that case. People on the internet were blaming the people who called 911 to report something is terribly wrong at our friend's house.
And they're blaming them, and they called them.
They
It
blame
was
them.
ridiculous.
They blame the dentist who owned the company that Tepe worked for, the dental office. Like, what the fuck? The dentist went and killed his other dentist and ran back to
And
his.
he was in Florida, wasn't he, at the time?
He wasn't even there. Yeah, he wasn't even. Then the brother-in-law did it because he came on a YouTube channel and talked about the case. And if we want families to come and speak about these cases, we got to stop going after their ass the minute they do.
Mm-hmm.
They're not.
Be that to law enforcement. Law enforcement, they're normally they're gonna check everybody. That's just protocol.
Protocol.
But
Protocol, man.
that protocol should not be for YouTube to go out and dig up everything, because they wouldn't like it done to them.
Well, here's the thing about that. With that said, they wouldn't like that done to them. And right now, I'm seeing the biggest pushback on a streamer media personality, people who support that are also streamers, who did not mind putting out names and faces, and all the private information about certain people, and calling them suspects.
Now all of a sudden, let the courts take care of it.
Now say about their friend, we don't have enough information. I really don't want to talk about it. We'll let the court decide. It'll play out there. It's not that serious of a charge. What? Okay, so that's the world we live in, right?
Rules for thee, but not for me.
Yeah, exactly. So we all know that the horrible shade that was thrown at them, it's not funny, but it happens. I don't know if anything will ever change that. You know what I'm saying? It happens.
Me either.
All that shit with a grain of salt. I know early in this case, I looked at all the things. Like, I would be a fool not to examine the possibility. Right? And I had a lot of information, but I didn't need to go live and do all that.
Right.
I had evidence and lack of I needed to discuss, right?
Well, there's one thing of being curious about it and then going out there, going and acting on it and put it in,
not when you're being fed stuff without receipts. It's just speculation. You can't. It's dangerous territory to run just on the It's fine to speculate and talk about a case like this, about what happened, but to speculate about who done it to the point where you're putting their life on display, that's a little much, right?
Right.
So was it too much? Probably. Could have been handled better. It could have been discussed in a way maybe that wasn't so intrusive. Time, poor guy.
Yeah.
When you talk about the cruel speculation, the whispers, the innuendo that it was somebody in your family, how did you weather that?
It's unbearable.
Yeah.
And it piles pain upon pain. There are no words. There are no words. I don't understand. I'll never understand. And no one took better care of my mom than my sister and brother-in-law.
Now, no one took better care of Mom than her sister and her brother-in-law. And I guarantee you that was the case
Mm-hmm.
because they were so close to her, where she
Yep.
was. They were the only ones there to do it. Remember when it's all been about, I get there were 3 children, but it was not just Savannah's mother who was missing. There were 3 of them. And the closest one that was there that saw her every single day, took care of her night and day, made it possible for her to stay in her home, according to Savannah. She's the reason
Mm-hmm.
Nancy was able to stay in her home the way she wanted to. Is now being looked at as the person who did her mom in because her and Tom just couldn't take it no more. It takes a lot to get there with a family member I mean, come on, really? I held the hand of
Mm-hmm.
my grandfather. It's hard. I get it, but I ain't about to, I don't know, do all that. You know what I'm saying? It's
Right. Yeah.
for that kind of reason. They were tired
Mm-hmm.
of taking care of her, or there was money to inherit. There could have been, but nothing. You give me more and help me get there, we'll go, right? But until then,
Right.
I can't destroy somebody because it's fun.
Mm-mm.
And no one
Nope.
protected
Because
my
like
mom more
Amy
than my
said, that
brother.
karma.
Yeah.
Right.
And we love her, and she is our shining light. She's our matriarch.
Now, if you've been a friend of the show long enough and you know once you become a suspect for real or the accused or the found guilty, you, especially the found guilty, you are fair game
Mm-hmm.
for a tear down. It's coming.
Yep.
She's all we have.
Savannah and her family stayed together in Arizona for weeks as the media coverage grew more intense.
We had to move houses many times because people came, and not everyone is respectful, unfortunately. You know? And there was a night we had to leave in the dark in the desert, holding hands, me and my sister and brother and I, get into a car waiting for us to, because the people outside were closing in.
Could you imagine? Did y'all hear what she just described?
Mm-hmm.
Right, you know, they're chilling, they're trying to be left alone, they're in a house that I guess people, media, who knows, people found out where they were, and they're closing in, and they have to sneak out and go somewhere else, you know? It's wild that you should just be left alone because you're trying to figure out what happened to mom, you're waiting on the police to call, you're waiting on something, and
Well, not just that, you're having people follow you, and you don't even know why your mom was taken.
true. At this point, what if it is her, right? And the money and the fame and all the things, or even whether you got kidnapper or stalker, there, who's to say the rest of them's not in danger? What if it was some weird
Mhm.
political shit? Who knows, right? What the
Mhm.
motive was, so is everybody else safe, right? You could
Yep.
see that. Yeah, I see the comment there that she knowed Hawkeyes, like Savannah did say in the interview, they don't know anything yet.
Mhm.
They know something, they just don't know who yet. That's what they know.
So we found a place that was safe, and then we couldn't really leave too much. So like those days are a blur.
Yeah.
Crying and praying.
How did your family feel about the way the investigation was conducted?
Well, it's still going.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
people have worked tirelessly. And we see that. But we need answers. We cannot be at peace without knowing. And someone can do the right thing. And it is never too late to do the right thing. and our hearts are focused on that.
I wonder how many people were involved if this with this abduction. I don't care what they did before.
Mhm.
I wonder how many were involved because we got to count on one person to slip up or one person to gain a little empathy
Mhm.
or one person to decide that money looks real enticing and I could live a nice life somewhere if I could pull it off. Because if I know something, how I know it, does that matter? Right?
Yep.
Um,
She sure didn't thank him.
who? What?
She sure didn't thank Nanos.
Oh no, she done told you early on. She's done told us.
Yep.
Nanos, let me remind us, Nanos told us a long time ago, and I said it when he said it. He said, I texted with Savannah, but she's got her people. I was like, oh, well, what? Oh, she's ignoring you. You just got dibs.
Mhm.
She's ignoring your text now. That was what, a month in?
Yeah.
Day 30 at least, maybe 20 something in. I'd have to go back
Mhm.
to you. And yeah, we told you, sir, it wasn't a walk off. And then we saw a blue shirt laying out in the yard that belonged to our mom that y'all did, and you released the crime scene. Now the FBI's here and they want to go back and do this, and that because you didn't do this, and that.
I can't even imagine seeing that shirt on national TV.
Exactly. Exactly.
Devastating.
What would you have, right? What would you have done in that moment? Would you wanted to pick up the freaking phone and text his
Oh
ass
hell
right there?
yeah!
He
I would
wouldn't
have
have got,
cussed his ass out.
he'd have got a call. He'd have got the
There would have been no
call.
discussing, just cussing.
Oh, she said it. She said it. You heard it here first. We don't even do that no more. We're just going straight to the cussing. You deserved it.
I think where Savannah ended that, it's not too late to do that.
He was grunting when I went to play that. That was almost weird. If one person
Who?
breaks up with someone, did you hear it? I get semi-sharp. If one person breaks up with another, yeah. It, it, what's the chance of that pillow talk happening, right? The guy at the door is the hired gun. So I won't say the cook in the kitchen because we called it that a long time ago, very early on in this case when the video was released. We started saying the hired gun, the guy at the door, right? The hired gun. What if he's just the hired gun? What if he's the criminal himself? What if he's the hired gun? Then somebody came up with that cook term. That way, when it gets quoted, it could be given credit. But yeah. So what if the guy at the door was just the guy at the door, there to take?
Yeah.
And did he lay down with this girl and be like, so here's what I did tonight. I got enough
Mhm.
money. You leaving with me, right? Or
Yeah.
could that have happened? Absolutely, right?
It's just crazy because they have all this money being offered and no one's taking it.
So does that mean it's such a tight knit little group, no one's going to talk, or it was just two people and one's not around to talk?
Yeah.
Chief and the waiter, happy. The cook in the kitchen, they all, yeah, the chief and the waiter analogy. Yeah, I was there when he developed. I was there the night that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do watch Dr. B. Ooh, I got a new video I'd love to analyze with him. Man, Dr. B, are you available? Anybody in the know have a connection? Let me know.
Well, Salty, it's been great being up here, but I'm gonna have to drop down. But I'll be in chat. Thank you for
Okay,
having me
there's a
up.
part 2 to that interview. I think part
Mhm.
3, I think is gonna drop in the morning. It may be out there now,
Probably.
but I don't think so. I think it'll be in the morning, and like I said, tonight on Dateline, I think was supposed to be an episode. I don't know. I'm live, so I don't know. All right.
On
Well,
that video, did you see in the comments, real quick? He talked about Miss Nancy. Something about they didn't like Savannah at school, and she spoke up for her or something. Did you see that part on this video?
There was a hang on. There was a school that she didn't get into or something, and
Yeah.
Nancy was a feisty with her reply about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I saw. The feisty
Yeah.
lady, right? That's all I saw.
Mhm.
There was like
Yep.
nothing, yeah, nothing nefarious that I could tell from that, except I got, like I said it, what, a couple weeks ago? It
Mhm.
was Miss Nancy feisty. Because by
Yeah.
all accounts, from what we were seeing up to that point, were leading me to believe we got a little feisty Miss Nancy, right? From the clips we
Mhm.
would see on the Today Show and such. So
Yeah.
it surprised me Miss Nancy got a little spunk in her.
Good for her.
I called it, man. You ain't getting.
Yep.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming up and hanging out with us. I do appreciate
Oh,
it.
you're welcome. Always have a good time. Well, I will see you in chat and thank you, everyone.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks.
Good night.
Oops. Oops. Okay. All right, guys. There is a part two to that. Let me see. What's chat saying? Why are they just dropping their gloves? You mean like the gloves that were found all over town? Is that the gloves you mean? Yeah, if there's two people involved, or maybe three, and one's that loose link, you're gonna take care of your loose links so they can't talk. And if it was a kidnapping that went terribly wrong and the victim, something happened, right? First, they're manhandling her at the door, obviously. Barbaric, no shoes, doesn't allow her to change, or even put on a disguise for that matter. We discussed that option as well. Was there a disguise in the backpack versus a tarp in the backpack that made it look fuller? Keith was on the other night. We were discussing that theory. He brought that up. I was like, well, I didn't think about that, but that damn, why not? Why not? Right? Um, Nano saying all the gloves came from them. He didn't say they all came from them. He tried to, and then turns out the one they were most interested in wasn't from law enforcement. It was from the restaurant guy. It was 2 miles away. I sent Butterfly a couple of pictures. The other day I took a walk, and at that little patch of woods at the end, I ran across two black gloves laying there. Today I took another walk, and I called her, and I'm like, chick, there's like six more gloves out here for real. And I think a few of them's been here a minute because the leaves are on top. And then I went to a different place, a different route a little bit. I added a little more time to my walk, right? A little extra mileage there, which is actually good. Think if you think about it. Anyway, so I walked a little further than usual. And when I turn around and come back, I noticed an electrical box. Shit, you not. If you follow this case, you'll know. An electrical box with a lot of damaged wires and shit. I photographed it and said to Butterfly, I think I found more concerning evidence, right? I don't know about the black glove situation everywhere, but yeah, this word salad, Sheriff, we can't take nothing he says for granted. In this place where I found these gloves at, right? They literally just built, I was telling Butterfly, they literally just built and opened a brand new restaurant right there on the corner. I don't know when the gloves got down there, how long they've been there, if the restaurant employees threw them out there. I don't know. Koberger wore black gloves when he signed his car papers at the tag office. Oh yeah, I saw all the posts about the gloves and all that. Yeah, he lied about a lot of things. We can't believe nothing this man has ever said. I mean, it's not that he just like told all out lies. He didn't tell truths about everything. He was just blah 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 blah. At some point it just like you stop listening, I don't know, 10 days in, you're like, who is this guy? And I'm not listening anymore. You can't. You just can't. Everything about that man, there was way worse issues than that, right? Other than finding gloves all over town, he thought was relevant enough to perform IgG on, maybe to get a DNA profile to figure out who people were. That weird shit. And downloading phones on the side of the road. That weird shit that that stuff he partakes in. I don't know what this man's doing to find the person at the door. I think he was pissing in the wind, and the FBI's like, let him go. We'll support whatever he says. He says he needs backup, guys. He's rolling out with his SWAT team. Something about a dude named Carlos. All right, we're on it. Fuck it. Let's go. Let's go. Turned out to be a nothing burger. FBI's like, oh yeah. FBI's like, we tried to tell Nanos that was probably a nothing burger, but he wouldn't listen. See, that's probably how that went down. Y'all want to bet it'll come out that the raid on Carlos and Luke was based on some shit Nanos did or heard, or one of his tips that came in from people on the internet. I don't know. He lost all credibility days into the investigation, right? That we could see on what we could see unfolding before our eyes in the very 4 to 5 days of this case. We could see something was wrong with this guy. It was not rocket science. And this channel has followed the case from what, day 2, Sunday, Monday. I think it happened Sunday. I think my first show may have been Tuesday. I don't think it was Monday. It might have been, but I know it was Tuesday. And we've been covering all the things that developed up to that point, and we've been doing it ever since, right? So it is what it is. You got that weirdo. Fact is, we know there was evidence in that home that says he should have taken things a little more seriously than he did, and he should have secured that scene better than he did. He should have secured it for a lot longer than he did, and he should have called in the FBI right away when he understood this was the mother of a high-profile celebrity status individual, could possibly be kidnapped for ransom. And there's an indication she may have been injured right off the bat. The minute he learned this is actually Nancy Guthrie, right? Savannah's mom. You claimed he knowed Savannah. I've known her all our life. I used to work with her, blah, blah, blah. I know. You knew, dude, when you got the call, right? He got the call. He knew this was Savannah Guthrie's mother. My guys are telling me she's missing. Well, did she just wander off? Well, we don't think so, dude. We don't think so, Sheriff. We don't think so. There's blood. There's the back doors are open. The daughter's panicking. He's like, we're going to tell everybody it was a wander off and a family member dropped her off at home. Damn it, dude. See what he calls everybody? A big ass headache, right? He just calls everybody a big headache. It's like, dude, I've not seen anything like it. I thought I'd seen it all when I saw Doug Carter, Indiana State Police, in his magic hand situation. And then, no, here comes Sheriff Nanos. Okay. Okay. I think they went to the same school. So this is part 2. Like I said, 3 I don't believe is dropped yet. Hey, not me. Welcome in. Oh, thank y'all for being here to help me. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. We're here to help each other through this crazy case and all the ones we do cover. But there's some like these are crazy, right? This one, this one's wild. I think it got so bad because, yeah, celebrity's mom, duh. But nothing, no leads. Gee whiz, what happened here? And then we get a weird sheriff who seemingly does nothing and doesn't care. That's weird. A lot of missteps in the investigation. It's just the craziest shit. And it's hard to think this is happening in 2026 when we're supposed to be a little more less caveman about this kind of stuff, right? We're supposed to know better and have better capabilities and all the things, but apparently we still live in the caveman ages and we just didn't fucking know it. Holy shit, y'all. Buckle up, buttercups. Part 2.
Always in the present tense.
Yeah. I mean, she is present tense to me.
Do you feel her, or have you heard her any moments?
Yeah, a little bit.
Tell me about your mommy. Just tell me about her.
My mom she's incredible. She's resolute and strong. Quiet strength, quiet faith, but hard fought. She's funny and a little,
That picture they just showed was in Nancy's sitting room with the fireplace in the corner. Hold on. Where'd it go? I don't think I
how to survive the unimaginable. When she lost my dad, she was 46 years old. She had 3 kids. She had never worked outside the home. She had to.
I didn't go back far enough. Did you see it? Did y'all see that? I was like, Butterfly, did you see that? I'm like, forgot she was gone. She's not here. I'll have to go back and find that. That's gonna bug me now.
The unimaginable. When she lost my dad, she was.
I knew it was gonna act crazy. It always does when I mess with it like that. Dang it. I'll have to take it down and go find it and bring it back up.
The goodness and kindness of God is remarkable. And in equal measure to my sorrow.
Wow.
She showed us how to survive the unimaginable. When she lost my dad, she was 46 years old. She had 3 kids. She had never worked outside the home. She had to get up. She had to find a job. She had to mother 2 teenagers and 1 young adult just starting making his way into the world. She took care of her mother, her brother, who had Down syndrome. She invited to come live with us.
Now, that was Nancy's brother and mother. The brother had Down syndrome. And remember the other night we were talking about this because there was a report that somebody lived in the guest house. It was a medical worker or some shit from back. Nobody's talked about it since then. It was briefly somebody said it. The only people I could find that lived in that guest house was Nancy's mother and brother. I don't know if they lived in the guest house when the kids all still lived at home. How long ago that was, right? Considering if they were still in the home, did the mom and the brother lived in that guest house? But that's who Nancy was. Her mother and brother lived with her as well during their time. She took care of everybody basically.
She worked part-time to make ends kind of meet. She found a way, another job, a job she turned into a full-time job, a job she turned into a career. She had a second life of purpose and meaning. She had 1 million friends. She stayed strong for us. She was resolute. She was real. She grieved. I remember moments in my childhood and those days after my dad died. She was so strong. But some mornings, before dawn, when she thought we were still sleeping, I would hear her crying at my door. To not be alone in her grief. So she taught me to be strong, but she taught me to be true. My faith is strong and resolute. But I, early on, felt that I heard, for one of the very few times in my life, I did hear God speak to me. As I said to myself, I can handle anything, God. I can handle anything. I just can't handle not knowing. We can't handle not knowing.
Yeah.
I have to know. And I heard a voice. And it said, you do know where she is. She's with me. She's with me. So whether she is on this earth still, or whether she is in heaven, I know where she is. I know who she's with. But we need to know.
I mean, Savannah's faith is.
Okay. So that was part 2 to that. Like I said, they're supposed to air part 3, I'm assuming, in the morning on NBC Today's show. They'll drop it onto their YouTube as well. Let me go look real quick. And then I think tonight, as Hoda says, if I let it play and you listen to what they're saying, I think she said tonight was a Dateline that they were going to be also airing parts of this interview on, right? So I don't know if you want to go watch that. I feel like they came out this morning with 1 and 2, so they'll probably have 3, sometime in the morning. Like, it won't be terribly late or anything. And I don't know what else, they'll show, how much more we would learn, from her speaking, as far as the scene, right? What could indicate what the heck happened, who did that, and apparently they did take those first 2 letters seriously enough to respond with the help of the FBI, right? We know that during those video pleas to the abductor that she released over on her Instagram. Cameron also released one, right? There was one with all 3 of them together. And then we've seen Savannah come out and speak. But nothing occurred once they did all that, past those first 2 letters. Because when Savannah goes, we can take a look at those. But when she, we've received your letters. We understand. We now need proof of life. That's when the communication stopped with that person. That person never reached back out. Not even to say, well, I can't provide you with proof of life. Are you still willing to play ball? If they did do that, we haven't heard about it. And why wouldn't they play ball to figure that out, right? As far as if they were told that. So I don't think, and I said this early on, if we're doing a kidnapping for ransom and something went terribly wrong that night, because you're manhandling the shit out of your victim, and you screwed that shit up because something's happened to her now. We can't even go get our money. What do you do? What do you do? Do you get the hell gone? Do you cut your losses and take care of what you need to take care of and dispose of things and leave and never look back and never respond back to that demand for proof of life? Why would you do that? Because unless you felt like they would still pay you to have the information they want, right? They probably cut their losses and ran, regardless if those letters are real or not. So let's say none of those are real, not even the first 2 Savannah talks about that they responded to. Whoever did it just never sent a ransom because something terribly went wrong that night that wasn't supposed to go wrong. But the sad part is, either way you look at it, no matter why that guy showed up at that door, he was able to show up at that door, do exactly what he came to do, and get away with it all the way up to this point, with what feels like the world watching, right? How did you do that? How did you pull that off? You got one of the best law enforcement agencies you got the FBI on your ass, right? What in the world's happening here? We got a guy who got lucky as he's prowling through the neighborhood. This lady left her doors unlocked, possibly one propped open or two. Either way, probably unlocked. And then decided, well, hell, while I'm here, there's a picture of her daughter. I recognize her. I'll watch her on the news every morning. Let me think. Oh man, I'll take her and get me some money. Is it that, or is it well planned, right? Well planned. So if you go in well planned, why are you not letting her get her shoes, right? At least she's old. Why do you got to rough her up at the door, even if she did get feisty? So what if she got mouthy? You don't like a mouthy woman, period? You're just not going to take it? So what if she got mouthy? What's she going to do? Haul off and hit you with her cane because you let her walk all the way to the door? What if she did? What if they allowed Miss Nancy to walk with her cane to the door because it's easier? Get all the way to the door and she whacked one of them with her cane. And they're like, provoked an incident. Not that that's her fault. He reacts by doing that over aggressive shit, right? Take getting smacked with a cane, dude. Take it. Ugh. Of course, exactly, Rachel. Planned for a while, studied the house and the driving routes. It would have to, if you're planning it, that's what you're doing. Your part of your planning is planning everything, including your driving route. Crazy spaghetti neighborhood there. We got to know our way around there if we're going to go. All the things. So if you're going to plan it, you're out there surveilling. We don't know how long. You know what I mean? What provoked all that to begin with. But if you're planning it, you're absolutely doing all the things to plan, even knowing her schedule. You got to know her routine. You have to know your target's routine. Chances are they're going to be at home in the middle of the night asleep, especially for an 84-year-old lady. You already know your victim's 84 years old. You know where she lives and you know how old she is. Chances are she's going to be at home alone or home asleep. But is she alone, right? Does she live alone? Does she have a nurse, a daughter, a sister, a cousin, a niece, a nephew? I don't know. Y'all know, right? It would be helpful to know her routine, especially considering that particular night she wasn't at home at first. She was gone to dinner, right? And then she came back after dinner, got dropped off by her son-in-law. Why was that night go time? Why was November 13th go time? Why was February, over in Delphi 13th? Why are certain days? Was there rhyme or reason to certain days, right? Was there a reason you needed to go do that at January 31st compared to the 11th or 24th? Was there a prior attempt and something about it was just not right? Right? Something was a little bit off about something that you didn't like. But on that full moon, well lit full moon, that's the night to go. Not the 11th when it's not a full moon, not the 24th when it's approaching. We're going to wait and go on a full moon. Well, maybe because they could see better without using any lights, right? Including their car lights. So that might have been pretty fucking smart, come to think of it. All the moonlight in the world out there is going to make everything you can see so much better. And probably just get grainy shots of you on camera still. Think about that. Maybe that was the reason. But they're casing the place, right? We even explored, did they take a job at in construction to position themselves into the neighborhood to be in a position to be able to park and surveil? Because just showing up to willy nilly walk around, you might look sus to the neighbors, right? They know everybody. You're not one of the regular walkers or joggers. Who are you in my neighborhood walking with a hoodie on, right? That kind of thing. Yeah, did they even know it was a full moon? Maybe Hawkeyes, it depends on their level. I mean, of criminal activity. Some do think about it. Some think about it. And they also think about it if they approach your home, they consider all your dogs and activity and how easy that house is to get into, right? There's a lot of things to evaluate when you're out there going to be prowling in the night. But apparently, out there in Tucson, them fuckers don't care. They're just out there willy nilly grabbing a hold of anything that's shut, trying to see if it'll open 2 miles away from Nancy's. A lot of things happen 2 miles away from Nancy's. Think about it, the glove and all those weird people walking around. And now we hear, that they got thumbnails recovered from the notorious cameras from the guest house, and these thumbnails just show people in the backyard. Um, they didn't say what kind of people, who the people are. If we got the pool guy, the yard guy, do we have family? Or do we got weirdos in the night like we see 2 miles away? But then nothing, y'all see nothing, according to them, on a thumbnail about what would happen that night in the backyard. But then they said they have a thumbnail where they can see cops in the backyard the next day. Do you really have a thumbnail from that night, but it's so dark back there because that light was tampered with and doesn't work anymore in the backyard, so it's super dark back there? Are you gonna see anything on a thumbnail that night? I have questions about that night and why it doesn't see anything. Super dark back there with a big busted light situation happening right there by the camera. Right there, right? Total darkness back there. So what's it actually seeing? Somebody prop open some back doors? Weird. It's too many weird things. This is like one of those true mysteries, guys. The true mystery of it all. Speaking of mysteries, let's take a look at this. All right, so I don't know if it'll show in the, no, it's not. Let me, yeah, actually, okay. And I'll show y'all also, okay, first, before we do that, okay, the reason I showed you this picture first is if you look at Nancy's house, see right across the street, there's the other street that goes up there and it ends. It's a cul-de-sac down there, right? Up here is where that house is under construction. Up, up the street over to the right. Just to the right of that, you can see another house up here and other houses in the distance and whatnot. There's a road out there, and I can show you on the map that road. And it appears there's lights back there, and I'm going to show you that in a minute, because people were saying that from up here in the front, when they look at the video of the guy at the door, you can see two lights in the background. They had to be headlights, and headlights from the road, headlights from the construction, all the things. We had just discussed where the construction site was the other night when we had evaluated that neighbor that spoke to Nancy Grace, remember? Where the vacant house was across from him, where he lived with a dog barking, cameras went out, and where the construction house was at. So I'm going to show you Nancy Grace's video, a little bit of it. We're only going to look at the part of it we need to look at. And then we're going to look at somebody else's video showing you what it actually looks like from the scene, right? And then we're going to look at the backdoor situation. Don't let me forget. because that's important. We got back doors propped open. What back are we talking about? So then I got to ask, are we talking about the 2 doors we now know are on the patio? And forget about the garage door, right? I have more questions and I have answers as usual. They were from a house in the distance. I'll show you, Pammy. Yeah, always right. Always the house in the distance is what we thought. And you can tell people were the video they're viewing is very zoomed in. So you have to take that into account. Tells you the lights are far away because you don't just see them on standard play right there. You don't. You have to zoom. So you're zooming because they're so far away, right? Jeez, like that was a no-brainer from the get-go. All right. Where did I put you, Nancy? Come here, Nancy. Some of these people holding these shows are just like they're doubling down on their stuff, man. It's so funny. They're getting down with business. They're showing us all how it's done. Okay. She has this guy on, and they're going to talk about it. Let me get the screen up. And they're going to show the video that I'm talking about where they're examining the lights. And then I'll show you another video showing you what's up. Okay. Because I do think, I've always said, I felt like when he scoops up his vines, picks his vines, it feels like when he stands up, something either catches his attention or he's looking dead ass off at somebody out there in that driveway at the very edge where I can't see them, and he's nodding in affirmation. I'm going to use these vines. And that's all I know.
Try to determine.
Oh, and he uses his bite light when he picks the vine so he can see well. He's dark.
On the night of, or the morning of February 1st, what cell phones were connected to the tower that services that home. That, I think, would have been done by law enforcement early on. Now, one possibility, if there is more than one tower servicing the area surrounding Nancy Guthrie's home, is that construction site might be serviced by a different cell phone tower than Nancy Guthrie's home is, just based on the serviceability and the signal strength of cell phone towers.
Okay, there's that map. They got the vacant home pointed out, which you can see Nancy's house there on the street in the center. Down the road, around the corner, is the vacant house. But right across from Nancy at the end of the cul-de-sac down there is the construction site. Those headlights are coming from back here. It's not actually headlights. I think it's from the house back here, right? I thought maybe headlights from back here on the road somewhere, but I couldn't tell. They didn't appear to be moving like a headlight. So it was like probably stationary from my house back there.
It's just in the realm of possibility, something that I would think about if I was an investigator in this investigation.
In addition to the lights behind the porch guy's shoulder.
That's a good point, Kelly. If they're that far away and it's that dark, are they going to see a nod or he does something. I don't know if something caught his attention and he just like did a quick little double take to acknowledge that he saw something, but it did not enough for him to stop what he was doing. He kept right going, right? But you can see he does something. So y'all, when they play the video, if you see that part, notice what he's doing, because I was noticing his every single move. Right? And if you notice too, and I'll have to get the video and we got to reevaluate this one night, when he is walking around up there and he's going to go approach that camera with his bare hands and he's stepping on the rug that we all see, he also steps right over into the tiles. Nancy's blood wasn't there yet before he pulled the camera off with his vine, if you'd run with my theory, or smashed it or whatever he did, covered it up with his toy vines. Nancy's blood wasn't there yet. It came after that camera disappeared, because we see no footsteps in Nancy's blood.
Reportedly moving, inching, seemingly forward, Now, of course, the FBI will be able to enhance that no end. How do they do that, Jeff Martin?
Ultimately, there's software out there that video experts will use to enhance video and get rid of the noise, get rid of the clarification, mess with the lighting so that you can enhance the area of the video where the headlights are. They can adjust contrast and saturation colors and all of those levels that are usually present in video.
Also, we are learning that signal jammers emit a certain...
Okay, so that's the gist of it. They're literally going to analyze these two lights way out in the distance. In that video, you could see again this guy's approaching from the left side of the house. That's fascinating to me. Fascinating, considering I feel like they were doing some shit on the other side of the house. I don't know if car comes down road, drops you off because you're in the passenger seat, you get out at that driveway. Car continues to next driveway and sits there in the dark. Because here you come, bad boy. Let's see. Where's the one where he just walks straight up? Is it? Is she going to show? Let me find out. I don't know if I can find the right spot again. But anyway, I'm going to have to reevaluate that a whole bunch. Not all the streamers were there for dollars. You know what? Yeah, the streamers, media, they were all there on that street. It's okay to be there for a while. It's absolutely okay to be there for a while. There's nothing wrong with it. How you conduct yourself while you're there absolutely matters. Everybody can, So this, when I watched any of the live streamers, if y'all want to, that's not the media. Outside of Intim, I'm talking about the JLRs, the Dadgone Lives, A57, Alex, all the people that were able to be there and be live. I think Sleuth Intuition was down there a time or two, I think. If I watched any of them, it was to see the surroundings, to see the house, not to go see what they had to say and what their take was. Like, I'm going to learn something important. I tried to mute as much as I could because I just needed to see the terrain, right? I need to see certain things to make it make sense in my head. Now, with that said, I didn't watch the Dad's Gone Live guy, because I don't know who he is, didn't know anything about him before this case. But I knew he was down there streaming, but I never watched any of it because I don't know what they were doing at night riding around. I was asleep, right? But and there was a guy on the motorcycle too, I think. There was a lot of people getting good footage of a lot of different things, right? That you could go get your takeaways from. So this guy though did a experiment. He did one, I feel like I watched it like 2 weeks ago or a week ago, when somebody asked him about one of the signs, if the reflection could have caused those lights when people first brought these lights up. And he went out there and turned the lights off and to see the reflection of the sign. Anyway, he went back out there because people suggested to do this. And so he went and did this and turned all the lights off and shows you basically where those lights came from. So I appreciate that from him. Let me get to the playlist and pull this up. And this again was... wait, that's Nancy. Get out of here, Nancy. We're done with you. We've got to debunk your theory. Hold on. Because I agree with his evaluation of what he saw. Because he's there, right? The boots on the ground, you can see it. So it makes sense. It helped it make sense. Okay, here's his live. Or here's the video. Okay. He's the one that I actually, the other night, the first time I actually watched this guy was the other night, the middle of the night. I couldn't sleep. And when I happened to be scrolling, I joined the live. And that's the night the guy somebody left the three strange signs all over town. Remember? Not all over town. The 3 in Nancy's neighborhood. I was watching all that on his channel. And the cops came and everything and took the signs and rolled them up. These ones, let me show you. Remember these signs? Those 3. That happened to be the only time I watched that guy was the night that happened. Isn't that wild? The time I watched something happens. It's crazy. Okay. Crazy. He saw the signs. Yeah, he was there. And when he realized that it was a sign there, he noted they weren't there before, right? So I watched the cops come and everything. And I watched them. They told him, yeah, you can follow us to the next sign. You can film what we're doing and shit. It was pretty crazy. It was crazy. Okay. So this is his video. He's outside of Nancy's house, and he's going to explain to you guys what he's doing way better than I can. And so if he turns around, when he gets to where he's going to walk down a few feet and get you right in front of Nancy's door, so you would be even where the guy would be standing, where the camera would be looking, right? And he's going to turn around and look in the direction where those lights are coming from, which will be down that little road, basically up the hill, an incline there toward the construction site. Okay, so I'll let him take it away. And then y'all can evaluate for yourself and determine what you think it is. But I don't think it's car lights. It's certainly not car lights sitting here in the driveway, right? It's certainly not. They're off in the distance. Now, could it have been somebody who dropped this person off and drove down that little road to the construction site and turned around and was going to sit back there and wait, or come down that little road and sit there and wait? Yeah, could have been.
If I can do some type of headlight test or house light test in front of Nancy's, I just want to clarify that we are going to stand on the asphalt. We are looking at her door right now. And if you turn around, you're looking at the no outlet that goes up the hill, my little spot where I stage and live stream from. And I want to show you guys something. So from the front of Nancy's door, you can look out and you can see the lights on this house up here. And a lot of people are mistaking that for a car. Well, those lights are always on. Let me show you real quick with my light. There's a house behind there. That was not a car up there. That is a house. That man, I've talked to him. He always has his lights on. However, we're going to turn it off. I'll show you how dark it really is out here. Turn on the light. We're going to walk to where we're standing directly in front of her door. Now, I want you to know that the street and the layout of the house are at 2 different angles. They do not run perpendicular to each other. We're going to walk over here to where we're standing in front of her door directly. And I want you to remember that her door faces out at an angle. So, where's her door? Where's her door? I think it's one more over. We'll go down a little bit further. And we're standing directly in front of her door. You guys looking at her door right there. Sorry for the shakiness. There's a camera pointing at me from the top. So we're going to look out this way. Remember, her door's at a slight angle. Up on top of the hill, there are 2 little lights at a house. I've been coming out here for about a month. Those lights have been on every single night. They are on a sensor. And I believe they were on a sensor the night Nancy was taken. So that is not a car up at top of the hill. That is a house way up there. Also, you look out this way, you can see the lights from the property on the one street over. That belongs to a man named Paul. He's a very nice gentleman. He actually owns a property that I'm sitting on right here when I do my live streams. And I just want to share that with you guys. So the lights that you see in the Nancy Guthrie video are not cars, and they are actually houses. Another thing people are talking about is this sign over here. This is actually a no outlet sign because it's a cul-de-sac up there. So that's the other thing. That's not a stop sign. That's nothing crazy. It's just a sign saying, hey, you got to turn around if you go up in there. And then we'll go over here one more time. And a lot of people are saying they see a car parked right here in the video. So we're going to stand over here and I'll show you an angle looking at the house. So that car kind of would be where I'm at right now. And then it would be off the in the video off to the right side where you see the perp. Once again, we're out here in front of the Nancy Guthrie house, and I just want to share.
Okay, so y'all, you know, in agreement? I mean, that's pretty basic way to show the video and describe it, and be in real time with it and turn the lights off, and you can see, you know, what it really looks like, and the house in the distance. 1 second, guys. Don't know why anyone thought they were. I don't know either why anybody would think they were car lights. It's chatter that started on Twitter, like a while back. Nancy Grace picked up on it, and she's like, there's something in the background, in the construction house, and the vacant house, and the anything that sticks to the wall that can come true later. See, I said it, right? That's what I feel like is happening right now with a lot of these people. Guys, I got to run to the restroom real quick. I'm going to take a pause for a moment. I don't have Butterfly up here to keep y'all company. Can y'all keep each other company for a second? I'll be right back. I probably should put up a banner so if anybody joins, they'll look. I'll just call it that. Okay, I'll be right back, guys. All right, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Um, um, the intense video today with Maureen, I didn't watch all of it, but I watched a pretty good bit of it, I think. Um, yeah, they're they're coming to some good points finally, right? Or they're just, I think a lot of them are realizing stuff they should have realized in the beginning, but it had to be a robbery gone wrong, right? That nothing else would do. It wouldn't just didn't make sense. Nobody would do that. Nobody would do that. It's crazy. And so some of the conversations, I'm like, I don't know. There's been some decent ones still being had, but it's kind of watching them come full circle. It's kind of like, and then to see the conversations they're now having, right? About discovering the third door and doors wide open and doors left open and doors propped open now and all this stuff, and it's and when we've discussed a lot of it already, it's crazy to me. And but the craziest thing to me is we have nothing, right? We got blood on the front porch, back doors propped open, car and keys left at home, a phone and purse left at home, Apple Watch left at home, wearing a nightgown with no shoes, walking cane possibly, and medications left at home. And the sheriff said she walked away, but we don't think she just walked away. That's all we have. And a guy at the door now. We can't forget guy at the door. We do have that now, right? That came later after these things came. We learned some of them recently, but other than these facts right here, all we do know is a guy came to the door. This guy right here. Speaking of Maureen, she noted something today in Brian Enton's video. And I was listening because I keep hearing things I've said be said that I didn't think anybody listened to. This guy right here, and the fact that we could never see his eyes. There were no eye holes. I noticed that too, Maureen. First thing I noticed about that picture. Yeah, I could see there's no backpack and no gun, duh. But I also noticed I can't see this guy's eyes. Why? That's weird. I get it, pixelated and not a full moon and all that jive. But anyway, we both noticed that too. Something's weird about that picture. Just can't put our finger on it. We don't have we have no timestamps on any of these photos, according to the FBI. Not Nanos, FBI, the ones who obtained these images through their partnership with the private sector, according to their director of the FBI, through lawful subpoenas. They scratched some information and got this from a company who retains large amounts of data. See? And he had those weird glove situation happening. And a possible tattoo. Maybe or maybe not a painted on or stuck on mustache. I can't figure it out yet. Something weird's about the mustache. Everybody said he was crazy because he carried his gun in front of his crotch. Well, he could have had an accident that he couldn't have recovered from. True that. Safety could have been on, could have been empty, could have been just for show, but it could have been, I want this victim to see I got this, and it's a show of force, and my hands have got to be free, the Mexican carry of it all. You know what I'm saying? Oh, and we can't forget how he decided, even after surveilling this home and planning this kidnapping for ransom, that we'll figure out that camera when we get there. Maybe they planned to take her out the back the entire time, thinking that was going to be the best option. Sneak around that side of the house where it's dark and shit. There's no cameras like that damn guest house side's got. Was that plan A and it didn't work for some reason? So we resulted in plan B, with that stupid front door with that damn camera that we now need to contend with? Ooh, why is the back door propped open? So you ain't got to touch it on your way out with the victim, less things to touch with your possible slobbery hand? Because you had to spit your light out at some point to talk to the victim. Unless you just, manhandled her and aped his way through it and talked like an ape instead of a person. Really? Is it all coming together? Why go out that front door? I get it. Closest possible route to get her to the car or whatever device you're traveling in that's parked right there at the front door at the end of the sidewalk. We had a picture, I don't know if I still have it, with a truck parked. You can step out of a vehicle onto the sidewalk. That close you can bring a vehicle. A full-size pickup truck, mind you. Not a tiny little toy car. Full-size pickup right to the front door. But that camera can see that shit. Now, this is a very lightened up picture. It's been altered. I did it myself. I lightened it up on purpose because I wanted to see, right? That's the only thing I did to it. I did not change color or nothing. Add lights, take away lights, nothing to it. I just contrast played with it so I can make it brighter because I needed to see a few things on the ground and things of that nature. I wasn't trying to peg this guy or figure out what he was wearing. I needed to see the background. And the only way to see the background better was for me to lighten the image, right? So that is why I always want to be very honest about what I do. All the rest of these are straight up from the FBI, right? I don't need to pretend I know what color hat that dude was wearing, balaclava or whatever he's wearing. I have no clue. I saw 5 different colors. So this one right there is the weird one. No eyes. No eyes. So odd. Well, some people think there was somebody on the other side of the front door. And it's not that there was or wasn't. It's always that possibility. And they're basing that, a lot of the ones I saw that say that, base that on the fact that they think he walks up and looks through the glass door, right? The side window on each side of the door is flanked with a window. And he's looking in to see if the person's there with Nancy yet at the front door. So I get why they think that. I don't know what he's doing. If this was a last minute decision to use that front door, I'm looking in just because I'm fucking like that, because he bounces from left to the right. And now when you're on the right, you're right on top of that camera. So I don't know, why leave back doors unless Nancy propped them damn doors open. The guy knew she was going to do stuff like that, and they just left them propped open. End of story. Or did why prop open more than one door if you're just going to walk her out one of those doors? Why both? Did 2 people enter 2 separate doors? You know what I mean, in the back? Why do that? The more you do, the more you risk. We got to remember that. The more I'm in there doing now, the more I'm risking everything. And these people didn't risk a whole lot because they got a partial mixture DNA bullshit happening. So you don't think he realized the camera was at the door? Well, why are the sources saying this photo was taken on the 11th of January when there's a camera staring right at the guy? He would have known about that camera. Would have been way more prepared to deal with that camera if the plan was to ever use that front door for anything. Damn sure wasn't going to use it to go in. But did you need to use it to go out? It's the easiest way to get her out, duh. But if I'm looking at being seen, do I want to come out that front door? Because if you look at, let's see, wish it was dark. If I'm sitting in this driveway and it's dark, to the left side of me now is the path of least resistance as far as no lights and no cameras. And honestly, if you look at the aerial view, there's almost a path that gets you all the way back there. Now you got to cross the entire backyard once you get back there. I'll show you. Okay, here's a better image. Look, if you bring her out that back door from underneath that patio, you walk her across the greenery that she probably walks along all the time when she can, across the pool area to the next gate, all the way down the side of the house. There seems to be a pretty good worn path right there, over to the waiting car in the dark without any cameras that are ever going to see you put her in that car. And they don't give a shit about her cane and her shoes and stuff. They could have picked her up and carried her for all we knew. Why go back to that front door and have blood there and take a camera, right? That don't make no sense. You don't think he realized it was a camera till it was too late because the shape, just thought it was like a doorbell, right? How close? So if the person came January, like for real, if legit, if this other image is from January, according to sources, and that's how close did they get to that door when they were surveilling that night, right? Is that the night they damaged the floodlight? Is that the night they discovered there was cameras also on that guest house? Because there's two big white ones. Did he walk all the way to that porch and take a look? Or did he stand back and guess? Maybe that's just a doorbell. Why not come prepared anyway, just in case, for the just in cases? These guys weren't not smart to some capacity. And if Savannah's correct, and there's anything to those first two ransom letters, somebody's a technical criminal, like I suggested, could be at play. Maybe not this guy, the hired gun, I like to call him. Or is he just a lone wolf that did it all by himself? Either way, I can't sit here and call him stupid, right? People call him that because of this situation right here, but I just gonna have to be disagree with people. He's just trying to pull the camera off, and Savannah says he yanks the camera off. And like I said in the video, when we see him fumbling with the camera and the vines, we don't know what happened because the video stops. Did he succeed in getting the camera off with his vine idea? Or did he get mad and smash it instead because his vine was stupid idea after all? I don't know. According to Ashley and one witness, it's evidence of a busted camera. You're not breaking in that front door. Let's see, all I see is Butterfly's comment about easier to break in one of the other doors. If they knew the doors were propped open, why even go to the front door at all? Why even be at the front door? Even if it could say they knew the back doors were unlocked or they knew they were propped open, that's the easy way in. So Nancy left them propped open and open, right? It's nothing to do with this guy at all. He didn't do that shit. He didn't do that part, y'all. He's like, hey, I just found them doors unlocked and open already. I just went in. So what prompted him to go to the front, right? Where this camera is and get this vine situation happening. Why? And why is there blood there, right? You could have just went out the back door, especially if it's already open. If you went in that way, I don't know. Did they decide it was easier to take her right out the front and we'll just deal with that camera? We can take it with us and they won't know nothing, right? And we just left the back door propped open as we found it, as we knew it would be. Or we propped it open because we didn't want to touch it to shut it. Maybe Miss Nancy was the only one to open that front door going out. They never touched the front door. Miss Nancy, you opened that front door with your key. Sure, it was locked and deadbolted, or maybe not. Maybe Nancy left all the doors unlocked. But if the front door was locked, maybe they forced her to open that front door and then they just shut it and left. Or did they lock it and leave, take the time to lock it, but leave the back ones open? That makes no sense. Because I asked that question, was this front door situation, both doors, were they locked when Annie arrived and the police? Not thinking Annie did anything, but when Annie got there, Annie, were the front doors locked? Right? Or were they unlocked? Because it's stupid for that door to be locked. Why take Nancy out and she's bleeding? Let's take the time to lock your front door, Nancy. We wouldn't want you to get burglarized while we got you kidnapped. That makes no sense, right? So I'm pretty sure they were probably just unlocked but shut. But why come to the front door? The sliders would have been much easier. Grab one. It's 50 years old possibly. Pop that bitch open with your hand. Shit. Brian Koberger apparently walked right through one into the Idaho house. There was another case we covered recently that had entry through the sliding glass door. And then Nancy's case came. There's sliding glass doors, right? We kept hearing no forced entry, and we're all like speculating, well, how'd they get in the house? Did they have a key? Did that mean they know, they knew Nancy if they had a key? Come on. Come on. Why go to the front door now? We got unlocked back doors, possibly left unlocked. And why are they propped open if you're doing all this weird shit at the front door? That, I'm sorry, don't make any sense. I just can't. I'm going to have to ponder that one, y'all. Y'all, we're going to have to ponder that situation. But Savannah does not confirm blood in the house. And that could be strategic. She did, stress concern about the family being looked so hard at by, like, people on the internet, I guess. It's expected for law enforcement to look at them and do their job and to thoroughly check everything. I wouldn't mind. I mean, I would guess I would understand. It would probably be annoying because you got all your shit is in their hands, but whatever. You're not going to find anything, so do what you got to do, right? Do it. And then focus on finding who did it. And then if you consider that it's not just Savannah who's missing a mom right now, Savannah tells you who the caregiver was in that family to Nancy. Who do you think made it possible? Their father died when Savannah was 16 years old. Savannah has a very successful career, a very good life with a husband, children. She's able to move away, fulfill her dreams, do all those things. Annie's at home taking care of mom. I don't think Annie regrets any of it. That's just I think Annie's been helping mom take care of things forever. That's just always been the role there. There's always that one kid, especially when a mama's got multiple, especially when she's got 3. I can only imagine how she feels right now, especially if you're completely innocent, right? And you just loved your mom and took care of her, and all of a sudden everybody's like, you did it. Your husband did it. You're weird. You're this, you're that. And then the mysterious back door. Now, if you look at, see where Savannah's sitting. Remember I showed you earlier where Savannah was sitting, where Annie is standing at the counter. And then if you look at that photo, you can see right behind, you can see where that door would be. It's crazy. Don't know which door they came in first. If it would be that main blue door we can see that comes off the family room, or if it's that door that comes off of that. Because here, if you look at, so there's one door here on the right goes to the garage. The door behind this wall here by the window is the door to the patio. door number 3 that we see now. And in this photo, the fireplace in the corner, this is that family sitting room. There's that other blue door. You can see it in the far left right there. That's the main door on the back of the back patio. Remember when I said in that video, that's a picture of Nancy in that sitting room? It's this room. You can see the fireplace. You can absolutely tell it's this room Nancy is sitting in. I'm going to have to go back and look at that. Right, Butterfly? They were together on Saturday. Everything was fine. They had dinner, did the games. Mom just had a birthday a few days ago. They take her home. Tommaso takes her home, whatever. They take her home. And then you assume she's safe and secure all night. And then you wake up to find she's not. And this will be like, again, the main family living room that looked out over the patio. That's the main sliding door from the living room out over that patio, which would be that slider to the right. The one they're entering is Nancy's room. The other one is to that living room that I just showed you. Let's see. Right there's the big sliders. That's it. And then if you go back here, the blue door is on the back. See the back of the home. The one on the right is the one from the sitting room where the little fireplace is I was showing you. And you have the other door to the far left, which is the garage. And then the one in the circle is the other door under the patio as well. So who knows if Nancy was in the habit of leaving them open because of the dog in the past, or it's hard for me to believe she left those open because it felt comfortable considering how far her bedroom was from there. And considering she could have left a sliding door open to her room, right? So are y'all buying that Nancy would have left those doors open on purpose because it felt good, so she could enjoy it all the way into her bedroom at night alone, versus just opening the sliding door to her own bedroom? Why would you not? Especially even if you had a dog, because guess what? Your little dog could come and go all night long. Look, there's a part of it. There is from the front of her house. So there's guys standing there. It comes up to almost to their shoulders, right? You can kind of gauge how tall that wall is around Nancy's private patio there, and you can get to the patio from her room and the living room. So why not just leave the slider open all night? I would personally probably choose that versus leaving them back doors I can't see open all night. Especially, we'll take a look at this photo too before we head out. Let's see, where is it? Right here. Nancy in her bedroom, over where the person is, where the camera, the foot of that bed is going to be that sliding door at the foot of that bed. That window you see is on the side of the house, over there in the dark, where they could have possibly tried to take Nancy in and out of, over there in the dark. But the foot of her bed is the sliding door that would have led to her patio. So why not just leave that one open? Mysteries. Forrest says he doubts that she left those doors open. Not when she's there by herself. Who would do that? Exactly. That don't make sense, right? Could you get behind that she possibly didn't lock all her doors? Maybe, yeah, forgot one, thought she did, thought she locked up for the night, but didn't, could have. That would be more of a crime of opportunity, though, right? Not a planned kidnapping. So, got lucky. But yeah, it's far-fetched to think she purposely left them open, right? On purpose. Unless she forgot to close one, Hawkeye says, I'm sitting outside. Exactly. Like, say, the one, for instance, from the sitting room location, right? The new door we popped, the new door, I'd say the new door we found. Okay, under the awning, just to the left, is going to be that side door. What if that door was open from her sitting room in there? You know what I mean? What if the main door was open and she forgot? Or just like you said, thought she did but didn't. Yeah. Before she went to Annie's, right? She thought she locked up the back door, so she didn't even think about it once she got back home because she didn't never notice it was open. I don't know the inside of the home. We don't know it. You can kind of gauge that there's pretty sharp wall. I mean, it's not like a big open modern floor plan, right? Because it is an older home. And you can see this dining room is kind of big, going to be toward the front of the home, right? Toward that front door. So when you walk in Nancy's front door, I'm not sure how much of an open, because gauge it from this. This is the living room, and you got the fireplace. To the right of that fireplace is going to be the front door. And when you walk in that front door, you're going to see to the left of you that living room, but to the right of you and in front of you is the dining room kitchen, right? Would she not see the door to notice it got left open, right? When she came, even when she came in from the garage, because if you look at the garage door entrance, let me show you that. We reviewed it last night. If Nancy came home, according to the family, she came home, went into the garage. Let me find the picture. Entered her home through the garage and went inside. Okay, so where is it at? Right here. If we look inside Nancy's garage, right in front of her car, we see the door into the house. All the way to the right side of that house are those other doors, and they're closed off by walls that she can't see them directly, right? Now, if I show you again, think about where that door is right there. And then if you look at gotta get my photos back in order. And if you look, where's the kitchen? Right here. Okay. You see the garage door entrance. We go back here. That's that door to the right hand, right there by the dining room table. Right? So if she comes in that door after dinner, she's going to notice that other door is not shut, right? Either that middle door or the other back door by the garage area, right? I don't know if she would notice the other door because I don't know what the rest of the house looks like. Is it open enough where she can see? Yeah. So there's a possibility she had a door propped open and she damn well didn't know and forgot, guys. But what does that mean for the case? A guy got lucky and found the door open, or it just got one of those coincidental things where the damn thing got left open and the guy got lucky? Did the guy even go to the back door? Shit. Did he go check, right? There is a big difference for us between forgetting and leaving it wide open or propped open. Now, did she prop it open so that it would stay open, right? Because she's coming in and out. She's having some coffee before she goes to Annie's or having a tea or something, watering the plants. She's got all those plants in the back. She loved her plants. What if she was watering her plants that afternoon, that evening before she took off to go over to dinner and, didn't lock up? Thought she did. Meant to. I'm going to go do this. Oh, shit, I'll go back and lock the door, and never did, right? And never realized it got left open, which would now be one of those weird anomalies that just happened that didn't mean to happen. But does that prove we got a person who got lucky and found a house open? Or did the person who planned it got lucky and the person who lived there left the house? You know what I mean? It's stuff to sleep on. Hi, Mary. Welcome in. Welcome in. Oh, guys, it's a lot. It's so much with this damn case and so much talk out there, profiling still happening, theories on why the guy's at the door, how the guys pulled it off this far. What do they really have anything that we don't know about? Are we just kidding ourselves and we're like, oh, they gotta have something. They gotta have something, right? Gotta have one thing. They just gotta. They just gotta. But do they? Other than this shit right here. And like Savannah said, when you look out over Tucson, I keep wondering, and I can't, my biggest question, I'll get to why, who, all that later, but where'd you take Miss Nancy? Where'd y'all go when you left that house? How far did you go when you left that house? Because I'm stuck on that shit and I can't get past it. I got to do a show about that coming up. I gotta. It's like a puzzle, Hawkeye says, but with a million pieces. Oh my goodness, yes. And it's really sad because if you think about, somebody did that on purpose. Somebody went to that door on purpose. And I'm not willing to say, oh, it was a weirdo in the family doing some weird shit because of this reason and that reason. I see nothing yet that indicates that. I feel like somebody went to that door. They really had a bad beef with this family, and I'm going to show you, or somebody went to go gain some money and something terribly went wrong because they were far too aggressive. And they hightailed it. And now this family doesn't know where she's at. Could have been anybody's mother at that point. Anybody's, not just Savannah Guthrie's, who happens to have a brother named Tommaso for people to call Tomato, right? It just happened to work out that way. Poor Tommaso. What if his name had been George? What would we have called him then? We'd have found a name, wouldn't we? Lord help us all. I don't know. Mm. All right, guys, I think I'm going to let you go. I'm going to chill and maybe get something to eat and try to think. I wish that somebody, whoever was at the door, however many cooks are in the kitchen, however many hired guns are at the door, the getaway driver, we got a hired gun, a getaway driver, and a mastermind. Is it just the three of you? Are you all one and the same? Somebody needs to talk at this point. And if you're scared you're going to get implicated, don't do it for money. Just drop a note somewhere. Do it the old-fashioned way. Drop that bitch in a town you know you're not going to no longer be in and be gone. It's a little thing called the post office that still fucking exists. You don't got to do it electronically and leave a trail. I get you're going to leave a sort of trail at the post office, but you could be long gone. There's ways, and you know it. So do it. You can call the tip line anonymously, apparently, but they might get to it and may not. I don't know how that works. I feel like a zillion calls are coming in, so I'm leery about those tip lines for that kind of information. More of a direct contact needs to be made so it's not overlooked 5 years later to be found stuffed in a box somewhere in a drawer. Because there's a possibility that could happen. Real possibility that one tip that could lead to your arrest could get stuffed in a box in a drawer for 5 solid years. Along with nobody ever recognizing you in a video. Let me just throw that in there. Thank you, Butterfly, for sharing. She says, if you have any information concerning this case, please contact the FBI. I second that. I also always say in any missing persons case that you see covered and you see that face and you see that face at the gas station in your hometown, don't call that tip line first. Please don't. Call your local authorities. If you're that serious about it, call a cop. You tell them exactly what you think you see and who you think it is. Let them come tell you what to do next, and y'all figure it out together. Put eyes on that missing person by law enforcement as fast as you can. Don't go home and hope your tip works out, because they could be long gone from the gas station. They just needed to fill up the tank and get back on the interstate. Now they're 300 miles away overnight. So please, if you are in on the abduction, by all means, call the tip line. If you see something in your own hometown, if you see Sebastian Rogers tomorrow, call your local sheriff's department. Let's bring them all home. All of them. Tiffany Daniels, Danielle Bell. I'll never stop looking for those girls. Ever. I know the last places they were seen. I know by who. I just don't know who took them or where they took them and why to this day we can't find them. I don't want Miss Nancy to turn out like those two girls from my hometown that I hold near and dear to my heart, because they didn't deserve to go missing, never to be seen again. For whatever reason. Rachel says it only takes one sighting. That's so true. One sighting. And thank you, Mary, for giving us some light and candles there. I love that. Thank you. I appreciate that. Our mods are class acts. They're great community members, guys, and that's what makes them great mods, right? They weren't chosen because I'm like, oh, look at these guys, they're mods. They were not. They were community members just like me that were my friends, right? I'm like, hey, I want to come be my mod. And they're like, sure, what do we do? I'm like, I don't know. We're just going to go. And we went, and here we are. And thank y'all for being here, because y'all helped us build all of this tiny little channel, right? This is a group effort here. We unpack these cases together. We talk about them together. We analyze stuff together. We deep dive documents when available. We watch the body cams. We try to fairly evaluate a lot of stuff. And of course, I do throw shade. My name is Salty. I mean, it is what it is. Hawkeyes, we do appreciate you so much. You are a valuable member of this community, just like Pammy, just like everybody else I see in here. Let's see, Mary, welcome in. Who else do we got in here still? Pammy was in here. Of course, our mod team. We can't forget them. I know I saw a bunch of our regulars in here earlier commenting. Jeff M is in here. Hey. Nobody came in through that front door. No, they didn't come in that front door. That's for damn sure, right? But why go out it? I mean, I get why, but some of it don't make any sense. But I love it when you guys join the conversation in the chat. That's what it's all about here. Real Happy was here earlier. I know Carrie was here. There was more in here earlier. I'm usually more about reading my chat and keeping up with what you guys say. Kelly's here, was here. Some of you may be still listening. There's a lot of you that listen that don't really chat, and we really appreciate that, because all those views count and help get the show and the topics into the algorithm, right? The information, the conversation, not like get me out there. It's not about me. It's about her. This is about Miss Nancy and how we got people that do horrible things to other people and unraveling mysteries and try to wrap our heads around it. Ew. We find the third door cussing and discussing. That's right. We found the third door by cussing and discussing and unpacking the case and analyzing video that we were seeing, right, Butterfly? She's like, wait a minute, that dude just went through a wall. She's like, that couldn't have been the portals. We shut that down, right, Salty? That has to be a door. Cannot be a portal that guy just went through. Damn it, man. They might be some portals. Miss Nancy might have went through one because we don't know where the hell they took her. So who was it? You Hawkeyes that made the golf cart comment earlier? Okay, so Nancy Grace used a Twitter account to reference the tire marks in the yard along the front gravel driveway. Yes, they're a bit odd. And yeah, that could have been from a golf cart actually, right? But if they're coming in a golf cart, they're in the neighborhood. And I suspect they may not have ever left the neighborhood right off the bat anyway. Possibly. It's just a possibility. But am I going to draw attention to myself more at night in a golf cart versus a car? If somebody happened to get up to go to the bathroom or something, I might. I don't know. We around here where I'm from, Florida, golf carts are just a thing. Everybody got a golf cart. Fuck, everybody got a golf cart. I don't know about there. Don't know how common it would be to see a golf cart versus a car out in the street. But the thing about the marks out there, trash can, there's a lot of theories. The thing about the marks, if those marks had been made the night of the crime and made by whatever vessel carried Nancy out of there, they would have been driven over by the time the choppers got up there to give us a picture of it. Something would have been changed about them, in my opinion. I think they were probably the garbage can being wheeled out one day, but I don't know for sure. That's my best guess. If I try to figure out logically from that home, what would have caused those marks? Garbage can being wheeled out, or was it there's a crime scene truck. It doesn't say crime scene. There's an FBI truck out there, and they have equipment on this truck. It's in the front driveway. Did they get some sort of cart dolly type thing out with equipment and wheel in? I don't know, because there's no tire marks from a truck at the same point, right? Something in garbage can. I've thought about the different options. I don't think those had anything to do with Nancy's abduction and the way she was. I don't even know if that car, honestly, pulled all the way through that circle drive. I don't think they did, and I'll tell you why. Because if you this may not be the best one. Hang on. Okay. If I'm pulling all the way up to the front right there, right? And I'm bringing Nancy down the front sidewalk to the car I got parked right there in front. Got to mess the camera up, yanked it loose. It cannot see my car. So I'm not worried about it. I'm parked right there. I put her in the car. Am I pulling straight forward and continuing on and out the rest of that driveway, knowing there's a camera sitting right here on this guest house looking out that way? Or am I backing on out, back out, back out, back out, back out? Lights are already out. It's dark on this side of the house. We know there's no cameras due to past surveillance. We're backing out. So many possibilities, right? As to why would you do this, freak? Well, I guess we know why. Because he thought he could get some bunch of Bitcoin or some shit. Didn't work out too well. And unfortunately, Miss Nancy had to pay with her life. Taken from her little sanctuary right there. Look, that is such a cool house if you think about it. I'd probably do something with the inside because I'm not like an old lady, but I mean, I would but the actual layout of that house, I love the yard situation. I'm an outdoor person. Give me my yard spaces, and this place comes ready-made with a couple of them. I love it. I think I'd have done a little more with my little patio right out there off the sliders, but hey, that's just me. She's older now. I'm sure at one point it might have been like beautiful right there. Butterfly says I think they backed out. It's just they could have. Because we know, I mean, sensibly, common sense tells us you're not walking this lady off the property, even if you brought a stupid tarp and wrapped her up like a burrito, as they keep saying. Even if you did all that, what are you going to do? March down the street with her like that? Right? What are you going to do? Throw her over your shoulder? A couple of them, even though they went so barbaric with this guy. Not only has he rolled her up in a tarp, he has also tossed her over his shoulder. Why are we doing all that? It's pretty aggressive. Is it necessary? She put up that much of a fight? It's weird. Either way, they succeeded in getting her out of the house. They succeeded in getting out of that neighborhood at some point. They have succeeded in eluding law enforcement up until this point by not leaving any viable, usable DNA. There's a possibility they did and it got overlooked. Y'all notice something about this picture? It's going to be really hard to spot, but I see it plain as day. Yeah, I don't think they had a tarp. You know what? That just comes to people's analysis because they think the backpack is puffy, which it is. But we do not have x-ray vision and cannot see through the backpack. So I know which ones have said it and started it, actually. It came about during a conversation they were having one night. They being the talking heads, retired FBI and all. I know who said it. Could it be a tarp in that backpack? Because the edges, you can kind of see the outline. I'm like, I don't know if I can get behind that. Yeah, there appears to be stuff in it, but a tarp? Okay. So yeah, a tarp theory was born. Well, now we've carried a tarp inside. I don't know why. Did we plan to wrap her up like a burrito and carry her out because a tarp's a really good idea to conceal the victim? Or are we doing some slasher shit in there and going to need a tarp to conceal blood? What are we doing with a tarp? Right? We're not. I can put some zip ties on her hands and then her feet when I get her in the car. She's not going to run off. I don't need to throw her over my shoulder like a sack of potatoes unless I knocked her slap out. What if Nancy got injured on that front porch? Not only did it make her bleed, but it knocked her out, guys. And they had to pick her up. That's only what they're going to throw her over her shoulder like a sack of potatoes? Why not just pick her up like a baby? She's 84 years old. Jesus. Maybe it was a change of clothes, Hawkeyes. Now, Keith, our friend of the channel, who was up here with me a couple nights ago, we did a big show. He had a suggestion, Hawkeyes, and I could get behind it. I'm like, okay, I could see that. He said, what if the backpack contained a disguise for Nancy? And before you leave that house, here's your wig. Put this wig on. Here's this, say, sweatsuit. Okay, we'll call it a sweatsuit. Put this on. Why not? You're about to leave in a car. You could be possibly passing cameras. If you put a wig on her, long blonde hair, right? That's not Miss Nancy with short brown hair. That's a lady with long blonde hair in that car that just passed by that camera. So, yeah, it could have been their clothes, the assailant's clothes for whatever weird reason, or it could have been a disguise for Miss Nancy. It certainly wasn't his burglary kit, right? We know that. Zip ties, a hoodie to cover her up. Yeah, there's other ways to cover her up, right, Butterfly, than versus bringing a tarp to drape over her. What are we doing? We had severe weather, so gonna Kentucky lucky coming in with some unlucky weather. Oh no, it was so severe, gonna catch up. Well, thank you. It's been a little bit of a show. We came on at 6. I knew it was going to be a long show. That's why I went ahead and went as early as I did. But I just had so much I wanted to say, and I'm still not done. Keith is great. He had some great insights. We're going to be putting some more stuff together with Keith coming up soon. All right, guys, I am going to go because I do plan to come back in the morning. I got to set that show up here eventually. I'll do it in the morning, early in the morning. Anyway, I'll be back in the morning around 10 a.m. Central Standard Time with friend Dolphin. We're going to unpack the latest video that came out in the Brian Koberger case, him visiting the tag office in Washington State to transfer his car from Pennsylvania plates over to Washington State plates 5 days, I think it was, after he alive 4 people at King Road. His interaction is quite interesting, I'll say. Quite interesting. And if y'all aren't able to catch us tomorrow, please catch it on the replay if that's something you're interested in. And of course, I'll bring you some updates from overnight. I'm sure I'll review a few things tonight that have dropped since I've been live or whatever about the case that I'll have to make some notes on, and we'll figure that out. Yeah, Kentucky, I'm glad you are okay. Hopefully, did you lose power or something for a little bit, or did it knock out the cable? You never know with storms what's going to happen. Yeah, everybody stay safe out there. Stay weather aware. Know the weather in your area. And I have to be reminded half the time there's something, lurking out there. Rain. I'm like, what? I heard somebody mention rain. I have to go look. So I got to but during hurricane season, I have to be a little more vigilant. So y'all stay weather aware for your areas and do all the things and be prepared as best you can. God bless Miss Nancy, and I hope they find her. And I feel bad for the family. Even it's not Savannah's fault, right? That she chose the career she chose and the path she chose, and because she's on TV and a happy person and reports all. Nothing she did made her or her mom or her family deserve what happened or why somebody did that. Because it literally could have been any of their moms. But I bet looking back on things, Savannah can see just how easy it was made for someone to develop an idea like that. Not the idea, because the idea is there, but to choose the victim in such a way, because a lot about her life was out there, right? And it goes back to how much we actually share and how much we should hold back, and how you never know who's listening and what their intent may or may not be. And nobody wants to live in a world like that, but we do. Brian Enton's even commenting about it, thinking about his own family now. There could be a weirdo out there obsessed with Brian, Don't get no ideas, people. We like our Brian Enton. Do not mess with Mr. Enton. Don't make us come after you. We'll put you on blast. Don't do it. Y'all be safe out there and all the things. Protect your loved ones as best you can. Check on your mamas. Have a talk with them. Make sure they're not leaving doors unlocked at night. That even if they're stubborn, go put a trick door in that they don't know you got a lock to or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll figure out how to pull one over on them. All right. Until then, y'all go be safe on the YouTube streets. It's a bumpy road out there. I'll see you guys in the morning. Have a good one. Thank you for being here and tuning in.
Thank you all for watching this here video. Please like and subscribe.